This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, it's for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Hey y'all, I think today is Thursday. Happy whatever day of the week it is. Thursday, the 13th. It's good to see y'all. Thank you so much for being here this here day. I got a couple of things to talk to you guys about this morning. YouTube Bad Actors, it's good to see you. Hio, good to see you. Hannah, Southern Cats, Lori Ann, it's great to see y'all. Rachel, Edith, and Shelby, it's good to see you. Thank you so much for being here. Tammy Mayfield, good to see you. And thank you so much for being here. I saw that Cindy from sunny South Florida is here. Mustang is here. Good to see you. Spiritual Conduit, good to see you. Miss King of Anything, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. One sunny day, thank you for being here. Cindy from sunny South Florida, thank you for being here. And Mrs. North, thank you for being here. Don't they? Don't they? Yes, they do. I found something that we'll go ahead and get into. We're gonna go over an interview. As far as I know, it's the first one. It's the first one I could find anyway, of Stacey Wondra. I need more information on that, so I'm going to try to deep dive that with you guys. Thank you so very much for telling me what day of the week it was. Oh my God, I saw that gray pubes struck you, which I thought was kind of bullshit. I'm sorry that happened to you. Okay, so we need to talk about a situation that I got from Duchess True Crime posted about it. So then I went and looked it up on Facebook. Now, there's not going to be a lot out about this because it just happened this morning, but I've got questions already. I think this is a good one. So it says right at 7:30 a.m. today, Thursday, 10-year-old Leven Todd disappeared from 19 Collins Drive in Troup County, Georgia, clad in a blue shirt and a pull-up diaper, underscoring the sudden vulnerability of a boy stepping into a world unknown. He vanished while outside the house by himself, prompting the sheriff's office to handle it as a potential wander off, but they leave no stone unturned in their checks. Response teams hit the ground running with deputies searching yards and streets and canines trailing scents in woods and unused structures. They collect video from nearby cameras and ask around for morning sightings that may fit. The quiet area of Collins Drive now anchors this vital effort, where every action boosts chances of recovery. Anyone catching sight of a matching child that's in a blue shirt, a pull-up, and roughly 10 must phone 911 without delay and steer clear of endangerment if unsafe. Strain grips the family, backed by deputies and local support on the scene. The lack of any sign yet fuels ongoing hunts, waiting for detail that cracks it open. Comfort to Leven and those close to him as the search lingers. Way to use Chat GPT, no offense. But the issue I have here is Holly, good to see you. What the hell? Yes, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound good. What okay, if the 10-year-old is if he's 10 and in a pull-up, I've got questions about cognitive impairments. And if he has a cognitive impairment, why was he outside the house by himself? Unless he got up before the parents did and walked outside by himself. I'm already concerned. I don't like the way this sounds already. Here's a photo of him. I've got 2 articles on it. Let's go over here. This reads 10-year-old boy missing near Collins Drive in Troup County. Community urged to help find him. A serious search is underway in Troup County, Georgia, after 10-year-old Leven Todd was reported missing early this morning. According to the sheriff's office, Leven was last seen around 7:30 a.m. at the home located at 19 Collins Drive in the county. He was wearing a blue shirt and a pull-up diaper when he vanished, leaving loved ones and authorities deeply concerned. The incident unfolded in a quiet residential neighborhood where friends and neighbors say Leven is well known and described as a friendly, gentle child. Okay, so maybe not cognitively impaired. That's good. At the time of his disappearance, he was alone and reportedly just outside the home before being swept up in what officials are treating as a potential wandering scenario, though all possibilities remain on the table until more information surfaces. And there is the boy. He was at home at 10 o'clock this morning and outside. So is he being homeschooled? Why was he in a pull up at 10 o'clock in the morning? If you have a child that's cognitively impaired at 10 o'clock in the morning, why haven't you got up and taken his night waste off and fed him? I mean, I've already got questions. I'm not trying to point fingers. I want the child found. I'm trying to figure things out. Like, specifically, do we need to be looking in bodies of water? Would he go with strangers easily? What's the deal? I need more. I need more. Why is a 10-year-old in a pull-up, like, maybe overnight, but that's even still questionable. Right. That's why I'm questioning, like, cognitive issues. Jenny Jen, good to see you, love. I don't know what that is. So there's the boy. Uh, I'm sorry. Leven Todd. I don't know what this is a photo of, but the article continues. I don't know why that's there specifically. Maybe this is the area where they're searching, but it said 10 a.m., 7:30 a.m. Okay. So excuse me, I was wrong. Let me fix what I just said because I was giving out misinformation and I was completely wrong. Okay, so the boy was seen outside at 7:30 a.m. That makes more sense to me as to why the boy might still be in his night clothes. He might have gotten up out of bed and just went directly outside when his parents were not up yet. That makes more sense to me. I don't know why I thought it said 10. True Crime Butterfly, good to see you. Thank you for being here. I don't know. And the fact that they're asking if he's wandering away and wearing a pull-up makes me have more questions. So it says Troup County Sheriff's Office responded quickly to the report, launching a coordinated search involving ground teams and canine units. Deputies are canvassing the area surrounding Collins Drive, speaking with residents and checking security footage from nearby homes. The sheriff's office emphasized the urgency of the matter and asked any residents in the area with cameras or who were awakened early today to review their recordings for anything unusual. Friends of the family and local volunteers have converged to assist, combing nearby woods, yards, and abandoned structures in hopes of locating any sign of Leven. Social media posts and local calls have spread swiftly, with people sharing photos of the boy and details of his clothing. The community is now operating under a heightened awareness. Neighbors have been asked to check sheds, garages, and play areas where a small child might hide or wander. Authorities reiterated that if anyone spots a child matching Levin's description, which is a blue shirt, pull up diaper, approximately 10 years old, they should call 911 immediately and not attempt to engage the child directly unless it's safe to do so. Time is of the essence, they stressed again, because early hours can yield the most successful recoveries. The family is being supported by deputies on site and by local crisis teams, yet the strain and worry are palpable. Quote, he's just a sweet boy, unquote, said one neighbor. Quote, we all want to bring him back home safely, unquote. A picture of relief would come when Leven is found unharmed, and right now the entire community is holding its breath and watching. If you are in the Collins Drive area or nearby and saw anything this morning, even something that seemed insignificant, please call the sheriff's office. Your tip might be the one that helps bring Leven home. And again, this is Leven. From my understanding, he is still missing from 7:30 this morning, which is making me not feel very good about that. The fact that they're using the term wandering and that he was in a pull up at 10 years old, it makes me have questions. And I don't, I'm not, I'm worried. I'm really worried. Hey Donna, good to see you. Why aren't his parents speaking out? It might be too right now in Georgia. Well, I would think it's around 1:45 p.m. It might be too early. Right now, I think that they're just trying to locate him, and the family might be trying to locate him. I'm not sure. I can look and see if they've said anything. Tammy said there are children in my granddaughter's second grade in diapers. Parents won't rush rush potty training. Okay, that's interesting. My I don't I've always made sure they were potty trained before they went to school because I felt like people would pick on them. Okay, we're gonna ask Uncle Google about the parents if they're speaking out yet. We got from 1 hour ago, but nothing on his family. We'll see what this says from 1 hour ago, but it's still saying critical missing. 10-year-old was last seen in West Georgia. There's another photo of him. Why do you do that? Okay, I want to make this big. Please let me make it big. There you go. This is the boy that's missing right now out of Troup County, Georgia. Hey, Max, good to see you. Yeah, they're not. Oh my gosh, we would spend an arm and a leg on those and formula when me and Mr. Speculating first got together, but he had children like one right after the other. I was like, well, yeah, no. Okay, so this is Leven Todd missing out of, I think it said West Georgia. Troup County Sheriff's Office has issued a critical missing person alert for 10-year-old boy. Leven Todd, 10, was last seen at 19 Collins Drive around 7:30 a.m. According to authorities, he was wearing a blue shirt and a pull-up diaper when he was last seen. Authorities are urging anyone who sees him to call 911 immediately. That's all they're saying as of right now. And again, here is his photo because that is extremely important, especially if you're in West Georgia. Abellis, good to see you, love. Thank you for being here. I don't know what to make of it just yet. We'll probably get more information as we go on with the live, and hopefully they find him. I don't think it's odd that the parents haven't spoken out yet, because to be honest with you, if I was in that situation, I would not be thinking about media. I would be relying on the police to get the information that I needed out. Um, if they don't speak by like maybe Saturday or Sunday, I might start questioning some things, but I don't know. Michelle, good to see you. Like, they said that they have just pulled, security cameras, so hopefully they'll see something on there and be able to locate him. Lord, I hope they find him. What is a critical yeah, a critical missing person alert? Let's see what it says real quick on that. A critical missing person alert is in Georgia is issued when authorities believe a person is at risk and their whereabouts are unknown. Recently, alerts have been issued for Leven Todd, a 10-year-old boy who was last seen in Troup County. Shante Good, who was located in Columbus, Georgia. Brandon Sistrunk, a missing disabled man in Rockdale County. Maribel Santos, who was reported missing in Henry County. And Corbin Wilson, a 17-year-old boy in Columbus. These alerts are urgent calls for anyone who may have seen the missing person to contact authorities immediately. They're not saying anything about like possible autism or anything, so I'm thinking that might not be an issue. They're closing Wendy's down. That is crazy. There's wages. My wage is way too good and appears wrong. Be nice if it's correct though. Mariel, good to see you. Okay. What is this? Oh, quickly, because we had spoken about what was going on with Stranger Things and the lawsuit that that guy, well, where did I go? that guy put out on 11. There's some information that came out about that I'll share with you real quick, and then we'll get into these interviews. Excuse me for just a moment. Lord, I had to clear my throat. Okay, wages way too much. It would be nice if it's legit though. Okay, so there is the guy. He is the sheriff in the movie, and it says it's been a whirlwind few months for David Harbour between his high-profile breakup and workplace controversy. The Stranger Things star has found himself in the spotlight for reasons beyond acting. After splitting from Lily Allen, David faced rumored harassment claims from co-star Millie Bobby Brown. Despite the headlines, he's staying busy, showing that even Hollywood's toughest moments can lead to new beginnings. Lily Allen's newest release, West End Girl, dropped on October 24th and instantly sparked conversation. The album is filled with emotional lyrics that seem to reflect on her marriage to David Harbour, exploring heartbreak, self discovery, and renewal. Fans praise Lily's honesty, saying it's some of her most personal work, yet by turning her private pain into music, she's connecting with listeners who know what it's like to love deeply and lose just as hard, proving art can come from heartache. David and Lily's relationship was, I thought it was going to talk about the Stranger Things stuff, so we'll see. David and Lily's relationship was one with many rooted for. They tied the knot in 2020 in a fun Las Vegas ceremony celebrating love during a time when the world needed some joy. After 4 years together, they confirmed their separation in February of 2025. While they've gone their separate ways, both continue to speak respectfully about each other. Their marriage might be over, but it's clear their story was built on mutual admiration and shared creative energy. There we go. Behind the Stranger Things massive success, excuse me. New rumors caused a store. Good gracious. My eyes just got watery and I couldn't see. My brain moves faster than my mouth sometimes. Aggravating. Okay. Behind Stranger Things' massive success, new rumors caused a stir. Reports claim that Millie Bobby Brown has filed bullying and harassment allegations against David Harbour with Netflix. While the details haven't been made public, the situation has fans divided. Some express concern, while others hope for clarity once investigations are complete. The off-screen tension contrasts sharply with the father-daughter bond their characters share on the show, making the story even more shocking for longtime viewers. Despite the personal and professional turbulence, David Harbour's career is far from slowing down. Hollywood continues to recognize his talent and depth as an actor. He's now starring in a new true crime drama titled Evil Genius, which could become one of his most talked about performances yet. David's ability to channel intensely and vulnerably into his roles has always set him apart, and this latest project is proof that resilience often fuels creativity. I saw that they came out with I think it's season 5. I need to catch up on it. Evil Genius is inspired by one of the most shocking true crimes ever documented, the infamous pizza bomber case that captivated the world. The series delves into the twisted mix of manipulation, greed, and desperation behind the crime. Based on the acclaimed documentary by Barbara Schroeder and Trey Borzonner-Lily, it examines human psychology, the pursuit of power, and the dark consequences of choices driven by deceit and obsession. Production for Evil Genius is already underway in New Jersey, turning quiet streets into cinematic backdrops. Locals spotted the cast filming intense scenes in small towns, bringing excitement to everyday neighborhoods. The gritty, realistic setting adds an edge that complements the story's eerie tone perfectly. New Jersey's mix of charm and mystery makes it an ideal location for crime drama and blurs the line between truth and fiction. Hey, Kelly Disdelicious, good to see you. Oh, yeah, let's break for that real quick. Please, if you don't mind, twinkle and hit the thumbs up.
Come on, players, stop hating. Stop hating. Start participating. Start participating, star. Come on, twinkle, twinkle, baby. Twinkle, twinkle.
Yes. Damn drama. So sick of it. Hollywood thinks we give a shit. So it continues. Known for her iconic role as Monica on Friends, Courtney Cox is stepping behind the camera to direct Evil Genius. She describes the story as stranger than fiction, saying it's darkly funny yet deeply emotional. For Courtney, this marks an exciting new chapter as she balances humor, suspense, and heartbreak in one project. Her vision promises to deliver something both stylish and haunting, an intriguing mix that might redefine her Hollywood legacy beyond comedy. Okay, I don't really care about that. We've heard enough about the show Evil Genius. It said that he spoke out. I want to know what he's saying. So I'm going to try to find that. He's also on H. Okay. I'm glad he's got, a full lineup. Okay. In a recent Esquire interview, David shares some thoughtful words about life and regret. He said he wouldn't change much about his journey, believing every mistake and victory helped shape who he is today. For him, growth comes from accepting the full story, the triumphs and the stumbles. At 50, David appears grounded, grateful, and ready for whatever comes next, demonstrating to fans that resilience and reflection can transform even the most challenging moments into strength. Even after a tough year, David's still smiling. And then it gives him links. Okay, that was it. I got some real controversial things, but we won't talk about that right now. AM, good to see you. Stranger Thing girl lately has been fighting with everyone. I even saw a video where she put out going against fans because everyone is talking about how she's grown up. Interesting. Awesome. Hannah. Hey, Stephanie. Good to see you. Okay. So we are going to go over here. Now, I have linked this playlist that we're going to be going over. The playlist is from Spirit Seeker Squad on Stacey Wondra interviews. She's got them in order. Now, the actual interview that we're going to go over is from Crime Lines and Lies, and I will share her link. It is in the description box, and I will pin it to the top of the chat. So, this is, as far as I know, I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be the first interview with Stacey Wondra. We now know he committed the homicide of Michael Monkey Vaughan, but on January 8th of 2024, people just suspected that he had done that horrible, horrible thing. So we're going to see what he was saying at this point and basically weigh it with what we know so far. See, because, with the information we have now, when he lies in this interview, we'll be able to tell. So I think it's important to go back once you have more information on something. It's always important to go back and look at the other information and put it all together and then, see what you understand, see what you learn. So I really want to go over this with you guys. I don't know if we'll get through the entire playlist. It would be nice. We'll have to see how it goes. It's all the bruising from the trauma with the replacement. Oh, she had a replacement? Is that it? Interesting. Oh, I hope you feel better soon, Lorianne. All right. So again, this is Crime Lines and Lies interviewing Stacey Wondra. All right. What the? Stop it. Okay, hold on. Hold on just a minute. It's playing. She's got at the bottom, bring monkey home. To report a tip, email findmichael@fruitland.org. What the?
To join the show and, tell your part of what you know about Michael Vaughan.
Okay. Me too.
I don't know why. I don't know why it was being ridiculous. All right, so here is Stacey on January 8th of 2024. Let's see what kind of bullshit he tries to spread.
I mean, do you want to start with questions or what do I do?
Well, let's just start with, let's just go through our conversation this morning. Let's talk July 27th, 2021, the day that Michael was abducted.
Okay. So
Okay, look, as somebody who smokes cigarettes right now daily, even while I'm live, I don't even have to clear my throat that many times. So that's the first thing I'm picking up on before this man even starts to speak. He has cleared his throat about 3 or 4 times and hasn't even spoke yet. So that's telling me that he's nervous. That's something he does before he lies. I don't know. That's weird to me. Her name is her name is Brooks. She runs this channel, Crime Lines and Lies. I just know that's her photo. That's always been her profile picture. So I don't know if it's like her logo, but you know, I've always thought she was pretty. But I'll be honest with you, I don't agree with some of the things that I've seen, but I think she's a good creator. The things that I've heard about were more personal things. Rachel, good to see you. Says his interviews are crazy. Like he lies like crazy. Oh, we're gonna see it. We're back. Oh, welcome back. Okay, I was like, did we go?
it was very weird. The I mean, Sarah, Brandon, and I had initially gone and
What? Y'all, I'm telling. I smoke heavily and don't clear my throat that much. Good Lord. Salty Sleuth, good to see you, my dear. I'm glad you are here. I will drop your link in chat. I hope you're doing good. We found out that we're gonna actually be moving the first week of December. We finally got the house and everything that we're gonna be not I don't own it, I'm renting, but um so I will be yeah, I wanted to tell you that because I know you had just moved. All right, let's continue. Let me stop jaw jacking.
well, okay, let's backtrack. So earlier that day, I had a call for a taxi ride. Wanted to go from Ontario to Boise. Sarah wasn't available, but I was, so I was like, okay, I'll just go do the taxi ride. At that same time, I took the taxi ride and I decided to hang out in Boise for a little bit. Um,
Okay, I'm gonna pull up the document so we can go through it as he lies about that day. I was like, why did he need a taxi if he had a vehicle? I did just drop the link for Salty Sleuth. So make sure you guys subscribe to her if you haven't. Yes, thank you. I love the house that we're renting. It's like a 2-story white house and it's got like an old staircase. It's so pretty. And like the yard is big and there's a creek by it that goes to like this big pond evidently in the area that like the geese can go and hang out in during the day. We're going to build like a little gate so at night we can put them in, but during the day they can go down and hang out at the creek. I think it's going to be so nice. It's got like big windows to like lots of sunlight can come in. It's going to be really awesome. Thank you guys for the congratulations. So they ran a taxi service. Awesome. Good to know. I am super excited. Super excited. I wish I could leave before December 1st, but you know, I'm waiting on things, so can't tag. Good to see you all. Thank you, Salty, and everybody's happy to see you too.
I think I'd gone and visited a buddy of mine in Boise. I don't remember exactly the specifics. I know that um,
Can
I
you
was
tell us
gone for a few hours.
who the buddy was?
Yeah. So it was actually an old uh, employer that I did work for, but he also became a friend. His name was the company was Labor Dave's, and then his name was David Fears. Um, but I'd gone to visit him, I think, to talk to him about some extra work at the time. You're welcome, Chrissy. Um, so I hadn't um I hadn't been in Boise, like I said, it was only for a few hours, but I literally had just stopped to see Dave, and I think it was discussing some extra work that he had wanted me to do for him.
I think I was discussing it shows that you aren't sure in what happened that day. Again, tells me that he's lying. Just to recap, on August 21st of 2021, Sarah reported that on July 27th of 2021, she and Stacey slept until noon. Sarah said they left their residence around 1700 hours to tow a vehicle to Kuna, which was around 5 o'clock. Sarah and Stacey denied they were home around 6:30 on July 27th of 2021. Now, if they said they left around 5 o'clock to tow a vehicle, and he's already saying in this interview that they were doing some kind of taxi service and he went to go meet with an ex-employer, I mean, there's a completely different story from the probable cause affidavit, which states what they said on August 21st of 2021. This is going to be almost 3 years later in 2024. Almost 4 years. No, 3.5 years later, because it's January of 2024. He's coming up with a different story already.
He had me do a lot of labor gigs.
He
A
does?
lot of it was moving gigs or, you know, sitting on a riding lawnmower and mowing a lot of the LDS churches. There, he had a contract with them, um, but there was not there was nothing going on in the neighborhood when I had left. When I got back to the
Yep,
neighborhood from
exactly.
Boise, it was still mellow. It was still calm. There was nothing unusual going on. And I got back home, and it was just like a normal average home. I mean, there was no. I mean, Brandon was there, I was there, and Sarah was there.
What time?
Just, I don't know. I'd say probably close to 3:30, or 4, maybe.
Okay.
So again, starkly different from we slept until noon, and then he only named three. Him, Sarah, and Brandon were there, and then we know for a fact that it was Brandon Shirtlift, Adrian Luciani, Sarah, and Stacey. So why isn't he mentioning Adrian Luciani, who was found hiding in a closet that day when Michael Monkey Vaughan went missing?
I don't know. This, like I said, this is years ago. You know what I mean? I don't remember verbatim everything, so I'm sorry if I'm not able to remember specifics, but I try. Um, but I got home and everything was just as it should be. As a normal household should be. Peaceful, quiet. Not nothing exciting.
He has what appears to be like the chain necklace on his neck, which is disgusting for me. What do you think, you're a dog or something? I don't know. It's fucking weird. He's scratching and clearing his throat. He's entirely nervous. Like way too nervous is what I'm catching already. Kelly This Delicious said you may forget little details about the day, but you know where you went. Yeah, you know that you told the police he slept till noon. Why is it changing?
And then Brendan had uh, approached Sarah and I because he had been asking for a little while, but he wanted Sarah and I to help him go get his vehicle from Cuna, which was parked at his mom's house. So um,
He's not making eye contact as he says that. That was in the affidavit that they went to go get a vehicle from Kuna from Brandon's mom's house. That's the story they came up with and they're sticking with, but he's not looking into the camera as he says that. I'm not trying to be rude or anything, but his eyes are weird for me. Is it just me? Like, am I just being too judgmental because I know what he did? I don't know. His eyes look weird to me. That's freaking weird. Yeah, usually, as far as I know, Tammy, I mean, and maybe he was. If Sarah did this whole thing and he had nothing to do with it, like they claim, then maybe he was. But the way that he vomited when they discuss putting duct tape on the child and putting him in a duffel bag, that I don't think that happens. I mean, we're in the true crime field. We watch shows. I'm not saying it happens exactly like it does on the shows, but usually you vomit right after you know somebody's deceased. And I'm thinking that he's remembering seeing Michael unfortunately perish, and that's what made him vomit. Yeah, okay. I'm not trying to be mean. I really am not. Okay, thank you guys. As respectfully as possible. I was like, what is going on here?
About
Okay.
when it started getting dark, probably 5:30, 5:45, somewhere around the end of the 5 o'clock hour, we
Oh,
all got ready and got into the
thank you,
Sierra,
King Santa.
the
Good to
red
see you.
burgundy truck, and
Whose
I made
truck
sure
is
that
that? Whose truck is that, by the way? Because I
that
don't know.
no, that burgundy truck is ours. It was ours. It got
Let's set
repossessed
it up. I'm gonna put
because
that
we were late on the payment on it. So they repossessed it. Um,
Yes.
but that's the only vehicle that we've ever had a repo on. Um, the rest of the vehicles that we've owned or
Hey,
have
Orange.
had, have all been, paid up on time or whatnot. Um, so, um, so the burgundy truck is what we took um, to go pick up Brandon's car, and I made sure that I put a tow strap in the back of the truck.
So he's already, I don't mean to keep pausing it, but we know from the affidavit again that that red truck was what allegedly they put the duffel bag containing this small child, Michael Monkey Vaughan, in the truck bed of this burgundy truck. And they were happy when it got repoed. It was extensively cleaned when it got repoed. And you could tell it had just been cleaned. And he called later and told them to sell it quickly, please. And allegedly Sarah stopped to pop a squat. And I'll tell y'all, like I did yesterday, let me remind y'all a little bit about myself.
Ain't scared to get dirty, baby. Cornbread fed, we curving, baby.
So I'm country as fuck. I popped several a squat and I never took my shirt off to wipe with. I've grabbed a leaf, but not a shirt. That's insane to me. Something was on that shirt and that shirt is gone, which means that there probably was something in the vehicle and that's probably why it was cleaned. And it's weird to me how he's stuttering a little bit and being kind of weird when he talks about the red truck. Now that we know the red truck was probably used in the commission of some kind of horrific crime. In my opinion, allegedly speculating. Kay Xana said he was also adopted and he's sick right now and will be going to the ER. I believe he has pneumonia. Okay, so maybe that's why he keeps clearing his throat. Thank you for the information. Hey, Rosie, good to see you. Internet's going in and out, driving me nuts. There's a lot going on with people's internet. His he's got cholesterol leaking into his lungs. Oh shit, are you really? Right? So you know what I'm talking about. Have you ever taken your shirt off to wipe? Because I haven't.
Um, and other yeah, I don't know, like just safety stuff, for the road because we were not using a tow dolly or anything. We're literally just towing it with a strap. um,
Makes
so you
sense
got to
if you
take
got a
extra
stroke.
precautions when you do that type of stuff, especially towing a vehicle, and not being really secured,
Is it
other
that
than
bad?
the person steering the car behind
Right.
you.
Right.
So uh, w- we had gone to his house, picked up his car. Sarah was driving the truck. I was in the passenger seat, and Brandon was in the back seat. um, I preferred Sarah to drive most places just because I don't know. I was a bigger guy, and it was uncomfortable for me to sit behind a wheel all the time.
I paused it right there. Most of the time, if I have to pop a squat, it's because I've been walking in the woods all morning and I'm like way out in the middle of the woods, like with nothing and nobody around. And yeah, I try to take napkins in my little foraging basket. Sometimes I forget though. But yeah, if you're by the vehicle, why wouldn't you grab a napkin? Like, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Most people have napkins in their vehicles, right? Good, good, blah, blah. Good, good to see you, Karen. I'm glad that you're here. Good afternoon. Um, was a bigger guy to Tammy. This case is new for me. I've been watching Melody. Just to let you guys know, Melody's mother was released yesterday, from my understanding. I've got to look more into that and see exactly what happened and try to get some documents on that before I go over it again. We might talk about it tomorrow. But she was released, just so y'all know. Karen has been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much, Karen, Connie's sister, for being a member for 6 months. That is so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate the continued support. And Karen said, "Hello, everybody. Hello, hello." Heather Ann, good to see you, love.
Time, and I had literally driven all, I drove earlier that day, and it was hurting me. So, uh, um, but
Now, what time are we talking about? Don't get confused by the chat, because I mean we'll get to questions in a second.
I
Can
can't even see the chat.
oh, you can't?
No.
Oh,
Oh, maybe I have to press chat. No.
no, it's okay, hon. Don't even worry about it. A lot of people are just saying you look great. You've lost a lot of weight.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank
They're
you.
not saying that you looked bad before.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
so this might not be the first interview since they're talking about how he looked before. This was the first one I've found so far. Ashley was released with an ankle monitor. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Rachel, for clarifying that. Yes, she was, which is interesting because it's a felony charge. And I would think they would want to keep her there to get her on the correct medication to hopefully tell where Melody was. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
one question, a lot of people have is let's start from the beginning of the day, July 27th,
Mhm.
Hey, Abraham.
not when you got the taxi call.
Beginning of the day was as the usual. Woke up from obviously sleeping. Woke up, had some coffee. Kind of laid around the house, with Sarah and Brandon, and um,
No mention of Aiden.
that was literally the highlight of the morning. I mean, we'll watch some TV, I think, or a movie, or I don't remember exactly, but um, um, there was nothing unusual that day at all. Um, out of the ordinary. We just did the same routine that we always did.
That makes sense. I wonder
Which
what,
was
though.
get up, have your coffee, get dressed, get showered for the day. Like I said, I think
Me
we
too.
may have watched a movie or one or it was a movie or TV show. I don't remember, but I know that the TV shows that Sarah and I really were into were The Good Doctor and I really was obsessed with Chicago PD. Um, so just shows like that.
I wonder if any of those shows played a role in how what happened, as in them still not being able to lay this child to rest properly to this very day. Yeah, his fluctuating details are very weird. Kelly said, "Now we all know he did not take a shower." Do we want to play the drinking game every time he says, Phew, boy, we'd be plastered in about 5 minutes.
That we would watch. So I don't remember exactly if it was a movie or a TV show, but um, so that was literally like throughout the day, and then I got the taxi call probably. I think it was like around 11, and person wanted to go from Ontario to Boise, so I went and picked him up. Probably.
Again, they said they slept till 12 to the police. I was upset about them releasing her, but I think it's better now. They can track her every move, and hopefully she'll lead us to Melody safely. Hopefully. We would.
Left the house about 12:30 or 1 in the afternoon, and took the Lexus that we had to go pick the client up and transported him to Boise. And I hung out in Boise, I think, for a few hours and then came home. Neighborhood seemed subtle and quiet. There's not a lot going on. Nothing seemed unusual at our house. Nothing was off.
That's a good point. She did have a $100,000 bond. Kelly. I wonder who helped her get out too. I didn't even think about that. No, I think it's in Idaho. No, Ontario, Oregon to Idaho, because they reference Sarah being in Ontario, Oregon, because I remember thinking that when I was looking at the affidavit, they talk about Sarah. Okay, yeah, right here. Following Michael's disappearance, Sarah began to stand along the highway near Love's gas station in Ontario, Oregon, with a sign stating to quote, repent for your sins, and that the quote, end of time was near. So I'm thinking Ontario, Oregon to Boise, Idaho must be relatively close. $10,000. That's still a lot of money. You know what I mean?
And then Brandon asked us if we would help him get his vehicle, so we agreed we would help him because he'd been bugging us for a while. So we took the truck and went and picked him up, or picked his car up with us in Cuna, and he drove. He steered his car behind, and Sarah and I were in the truck, and we towed his vehicle all the way back to Fruitland. When we got back, we noticed that there was an exceptional amount of police officers and um, people just walking around. And I told Sarah to pull over. I was like, let's find out what's going on. And um, we rolled the window down, and we asked them, what's going on, what's happening. And they were like, well, a little boy was abducted. And we're like, what?
Okay, now at this point, per the affidavit, the Michael Monkey Vaughan was in the duffel bag at dude's house where they went to go get the car in Cuna, Idaho. Heather Ann said that would mean she had to pay $10K. She couldn't even rent a car. Where would she get that money? California has no cash bail now. It's easy to get out. Really? I thought it said that hold on, I'm gonna look it up. That woman should have been held on some kind of child abuse charge. Failure to produce your child should be illegal. I doubt she's gonna lead them to her daughter. She needs to be in medical care. I agree with that too. I agree. Good to see you, Kalisa. Sarah said she had no shirt because she wiped herself on the side of the road. Right, I remember that, but that don't make no sense for people, country folk that have popped many a squat. Let me look up that.
It made no sense because everything was at peace.
Oh,
Who did you ask?
I don't remember. It was a police officer that we had talked to that was walking up the road from the main strip, 8th Street, which is, you took 8th Street. 8th Street led you into our subdivision. We lived in a whole different subdivision than Michael Vaughan. Michael Vaughan lived on the opposite side. He lived on 9th Street. We lived off of I think it was called Pintail Avenue or something like that. I don't remember.
so quickly, it says Ashley Buzzard has been released from custody and is now wearing a GPS monitor. The decision was made following her not guilty plea to false imprisonment charge. The incident occurred in Lampeter, California on November 6th and is not directly related to the search for her missing daughter, Melody Buzzard. Ashley Buzzard's behavior during the incident raised concerns, and she was arrested on November 7th. The Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office has not released further details about the incident to protect the ongoing investigation. Here's where she appeared in court, at least. Maybe. If it'll stop being crazy.
Unrelated to her stories we're following tonight, the mother of a missing Santa Barbara girl pleaded not guilty today to charges unrelated to her daughter's disappearance. 40-year-old Ashley Buzzard was accused of falsely imprisoning a man who had been helping in the search for 9-year-old Melody Buzzard. She was released from custody with an ankle monitor. Melody's whereabouts remain unknown, with investigators saying the mother is not cooperating with them.
So I'm thinking that the sheriff's office and the court let her go. Which is interesting to me and makes me think that they want to follow her somewhere too. Have a good day, Mustang. Chow, thank you so very much for gifting 5 Speculation Station memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. Those went to Michelle, Gigi Wings, Alani, or Thea, Mrs. O, and the Normal Idaho Mom. If you guys were gifted from Chow and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Chow thank you. Thank you so much, Chow. That was so very sweet of you. I greatly appreciate it. I will grab the crazy train to pick our new members up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you again, Chow. That was so sweet of you.
I'm going off the rails on a crazy train.
Crazy train. Thank you so much, Chow. That was so sweet of you. Mrs. O got one, I know. I agree. I also read they ordered her to produce the child in 72 hours. She went to 2 car rental places right when she got out. She's definitely in a mental crisis. Really? I'm going to look that up. We're going to talk about it more tomorrow. It's all very weird. All right. We're going to go back over here.
For exactly what the street that led into our subdivision was. It's been so long, but we stopped and asked,
Interesting.
what was going on, and they told us, and we're like, that's really weird. And I was in the process of trying to get Brandon's car dismantled from or detached from my truck. And Brandon and Sarah had gone and looked for Michael while I was doing that. I offered to go help. They're like, no, we'll just go out and do it. And I was like, okay. So they took off on foot. Carson's truck, mind you, I know that was a question a lot of you guys had. Carson's truck was never used that night. Carson has a truck, yes, with a light bar on it, but it was never, Carson would never let his truck out. I tried asking him to borrow his truck a couple times in the past, just to do like when I don't know, it was stupid. I don't remember exactly, but there was just a lot of
Welcome back, True
there was
Crime.
times where I'd asked if I could borrow his truck. I think when like one of our vehicles were down or something like that.
Now, I don't know anything about this other person's truck, but it's not mentioned in the affidavit, so I assume he's telling the truth there. Glimpson of Golan, nice to meet you. And Glimpson said, I'm not sure. I'm going to call you up Golan. Glowing, I don't know. Thank you for being here. Said Ontario is right across the border. Thank you for that. I greatly appreciate the information. True Crime Butterfly, welcome back. I'm here for it, Miss Pillowa's mom.
But he wouldn't even let that happen. So I know for a fact that he would not let his truck go out just with anybody. He wouldn't even let it go happen with me. He doesn't even let his best friend take his truck. So they went out and looked for him and came back and said they found nothing. So
Now,
I
hang
was
on.
kind of-
Who went out with him and said they found nothing?
Sarah and Brendan went out together.
Were they
And
walking?
they were on foot, correct? From what I understood, yes.
Thank you for saying thank you, Michelle. That was so very sweet of you. I greatly appreciate you saying thank you.
I wasn't a witness to them leaving in a vehicle, because I had the driveway blocked off with the truck in Brandon's car, so they couldn't really leave the driveway. The truck was taking up the lengthwise of the full size of the driveway, because I had the truck and then I also had Brandon's car behind. So I was working on getting that all undone. So they didn't have access to taking a vehicle to go get it, to go look for him. So they went out on foot.
Okay.
Okay, well, here's a map of the red dot is where you used to live, and
Yep.
where it says the other red dot where it says Vaughan family home.
Yep.
Okay. So in the affidavit, it says that they lived adjacent from the Vaughan family home. Now, is he lying about their location? Because I don't know where exactly it is. It's probably up toward the beginning. Hold on. Tyler noticed him missing. Fruitland police brought the canines. And the dogs only showed interest in one house located at Redacted. This is the home of Sarah and Stacey Wondra and Meadowlark and Red Wing Street. And then they talk about the bluff sign and the discarded stroller and the big flyer tricycle. Okay. Where would the bluff sign be? It's weird for me that Michael, if he lived here and they actually lived all the way over there, how did Michael get from here all the way over there? I know he was at a few neighbors' house, like his neighbor's house. But, like, I was thinking with the way they presented it in the affidavit that Stacey had this big wheel trike thing out and was like, "Hey, do you wanna play with this?" And he actually was, like, playing with it, and then maybe he brought it back or something. But no, they reference Sarah walking in holding him. I was thinking he maybe went up in the yard to ask to play with the tricycle, and they let him, and then maybe Sarah grabbed him when he went to bring it back? Does it? Wolfpack, good to see you. Yeah, they're talking about fetal alcohol syndrome. Quite a few people have said that, and that he was adopted. So there's a sign entering the neighborhood, and there's a bluff, and the bluff is on the other side by the river. Okay, where's the river? I'll know how to find a river. Let me look at it on this side. Maybe not. That looks like just a backyard. I don't know that that's necessarily a river. Hmm. The river has got to be close to this farmland. Is that the river? That might be the river right here. So if Michael went like down here maybe and then up that way? Not sure. Also, I know this is unpopular opinion, but I feel he and his girlfriend were targeted as subjects and manipulated to confess. I'm not sure they are the right ones. I don't know. We'll find out.
Yeah, so that's literally that's on. They live off of Ninth Street. I live off. That's so where that road is. That's Ninth Street, and then you literally can go on 8th. So you have to, in order to get to Ninth Street, you can get there two ways. You have to come in from the subdivision. So that road right there, that curves. You see the right where between family and home, that road right there. So that is not
Oh, this
I-95. So you pull into the
okay.
subdivision. There's a road right there, right directly below the letter U in the bond. That road right there, that's 8th Street, and then you go the next road down. That's 9th Street. If you go lower, continue going below the first stop or the first road. That's 9th Street. So you can get there two different ways. You can go pull into the right off the road, main strip. You'll run into a stop sign. You either take a left at the stop sign, and then take a right on 9th Street, or you can go down 8th Street.
Yeah, like that.
There's another entrance, another. You'll see like at the end of all the houses, kind of like on the road that continues into the map, you'll see that there is That's
Hold
8th
on.
Street. So you can take a left on 8th Street, off of 8th Street to the. I can't. I wish I had a way to really show you guys, but we never. What I'm trying to say is we never. I personally have never been on 9th Street. I know how to get there because I've driven by it, but I have personally never been on 9th Street, which is where the Vaughan family lived. Nor do I
Okay.
even know who my
So I guess he said 8th Street is under the U. So this would be 8th Street right here. And then you could turn left, and that would be Michael's family's house. Or you could go here and turn left and then go down this way and like go around like a U. So, and he's saying he's never been down there. This interview is from, oh, by the way, just so everybody knows, because it took me a minute to figure this out. You may or may not know this, but like right here, it shows you the views and it says streamed 1 year ago. Well, if you click more, see now it says streamed live on January 8th of 2024. So that's the date. You have to click more to get, like, if it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, if you click more, it'll give you the actual date.
Michael Vaughn is. I had no idea that there was a little boy
That's a
even
lie,
named
said King
Michael Vaughn.
Santa.
Until the night in question he went missing.
I'll do a something. Oh,
Now what the fuck is going on?
this man's full of shit. I need to change it where it's not got Stefan behind it. I don't believe him, said Southern Cats. His eyes is brown. He's full of shit. That's why.
I wish I could see the chats. Is there any way I could see chats?
Well, I'm going to start putting questions up here in a second. I mean, everyone is
Okay.
just saying, justice for
It might not be a dog chain. It might be some kind of other necklace. So I might have been incorrect on that.
Michael Vaughn, that,
Absolutely.
you look great, stuff like that.
He just said absolutely. You piece of human excrement.
If anyone's in here attacking our guest, you're going to be timed out. He's here to tell his story. So we have to be respectful. Okay.
Okay. Now, I haven't talked to Brooks about how she feels about this situation with Kalisa pointing out it's an unpopular opinion, but I feel he and his girlfriend were targeted as subjects and manipulated to confess. I'm not sure they are the right ones. I know that she has contact with Michael's mother. But if you had somebody up on a live stream and you were discussing, things like this with them, I could understand her saying, we can't be attacking the person that's talking on panel because you want them to keep talking. However, I don't know if I'd feel real good about talking to somebody who could be a subject or a suspect in a missing persons case. I would feel like that could cause me to get pulled into court. Okay. And questioned about things that were said on my panel. So I don't know, that's on everybody else, but I do understand her saying that, and I don't think it necessarily means that she thinks that he is innocent. I am going to drop the link just because I don't know about this case. If anybody wants to come up and talk about it, you're more than welcome. Why does he want to see the chats to see if they believe him? Probably. They were referencing questions, so I don't know. He might be slow but not dumb. Soon he will literally play the dumb card. I'm slow, etc., etc. It's weird to me how he could have done this. And then he's gonna, I want to see what lies he tells and how he acts, because to me, it seems very likely to me that he's lying in this interview. There's a lot of signs with the clearing the throat, the not looking at the camera, facial gestures. He seems really nervous, and not the kind of nervous you would be just from going on somebody's panel, especially if you'd been there before. I seen another channel yesterday and I listened for a few minutes just to be nosy, and they were talking like the four homiciders were innocent and being used just too close to the case. I want to know why they think that. Why people feel like he might be innocent, because there might be information that I don't know about. I am going to drop the link in case, like I said, I know a lot of you know more about this than I do. So if y'all want to come up and hang out, you can. You're more than welcome. Reminds me of talking to everyone and anyone on YouTube at first. Kelly, I don't think that they had anything to do with it. I don't think anybody in that family had anything to do with it. Like, I know a lot of people have probably suspected Michael's parents of having something to do with this too, but I don't think the Proudfoots or Mr. Rogers had anything to do with that case personally. I don't know much about this case. I'm learning though. Thanks for covering. Yeah, thank you for covering it as well.
We have to be. It just, there's no point. I spoke to him this morning. He was very forthcoming with me. He told me a lot of things I had never heard before. All right.
Right.
Let's start with one question. And if you can answer it, great. If you can't, then no.
Ask.
Okay. Sarah wanted Brandon to give her a baby.
Correct.
What? Okay, so y'all had said that there was some swapping of the man with Sarah going on in the house. So there we go. Sarah wanted Brandon to impregnate her. Brandon was living in the house with Aiden and Stacey and herself. Okay. Interesting. He likes attention. This caused him to agree almost any interview asked him to do. He wouldn't come on channels unless they gave him money, food, and motel rooms. He was homeless at the time. Many interviewers he does was from a homeless shelter. He else got kicked out of the shelters. Jesus. You're just going to let your wife sleep with your roommate to have a child? What the fuck? Okay. Dysfunction junction.
So you knew about that.
Yep.
Wow.
Can you explain how that came down?
So Sarah approached me in the bedroom
Okay.
where we sleep, where our place of, our master bedroom where we sleep. And Sarah had asked me, she goes, I know that you aren't able to have kids because you're infertile, but, Brandon's here and I'm wondering if we can maybe try with him. And at that point, I was like, I wasn't comfortable with it 100%. But I was like, you want a kid so bad, then fine. I was like, okay, that's, do what you got to do.
Okay, I'm gonna pause that right here because rumor has it that Stacey would sit at the splash pad and quote unquote watch the children play, which is creepy as fuck. But if we're gonna go with Sarah took this child, which I also don't know if I believe that or not, because he vomits when he references putting Michael in the duffel bag, which wouldn't make somebody vomit unless they were putting a deceased body in the duffel bag. However, is that why Sarah grabbed Michael because she wanted a child? Yeah, and I'm thinking, like, imagining her with the child and him with the child, like, sometimes God says that, you can live, but you're not gonna have any children, and maybe that's why that didn't happen. I don't know. How did they determine he's infertile? I don't know. And I'm not saying that's the case with everybody who's infertile, but with him going to the park to look at watch children play, like, sometimes there's a reason. I'll leave it at that.
She goes, it's only going to be, for a couple days, but we have to do
So
it a few times a day. And I'm like, okay. Well, that few times a day, for a couple days turned into being a
Her
week.
and Brandon had to do it a few times a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
Okay.
She always told me that she, you have to do it more than one time a day to be able to become pregnant, which didn't make sense with me. And I was like, I know plenty of people that have one night stands and then getting pregnant. So I don't even know how how that even played a part. But I just went along with it, and I was like, okay, so I mean, yeah, you do what you need to do. Well, then 1 week, couple days turned into a week. And at the end of the week, I asked her, I was like, so what are we doing? Like, why are you still, oh, well, I haven't, I just want to make sure it's, it's going to happen. And then I told her, I was like, look, like, it's got to stop. I said, I'm tired of listening to you guys fuck all the time. I just wasn't, wasn't kosher
Yeah,
with it
that's what I'm
anymore,
saying.
and I expressed that to her. I was like, look, I understood a couple days. That was, you know, that's what you wanted. That's fine. But to repeatedly listen to another dude fucking my wife is a whole nother ballgame. And so
Right.
she ended up stopping doing.
Oh, hang on. We lost Stacey.
Yeah, this is all very much concerning. Okay, so Hannah just said in chat, yeah, turkey baster Tom. Like, stop it. This is very bizarre. So 2 hours ago, we covered the hearing on this 15 years later, father charged with homicide of sons who disappeared on Thanksgiving. This is the Skelton boys. Quickly, I wanted to let you know. I need to quit jumping from thing to thing. My ADHD takes over sometimes. So he just got charged as of 2 hours ago with their homicides finally after 15 years. Quickly, the article reads John Skelton of Morenci, whose 3 sons vanished around Thanksgiving 2010, has been charged with 3 counts of homicide. Dang it. Why did I do that? Oh, it won't let me read it. Instead of being released from prison on November 29th, Skelton will be transferred to the Lawley County Jail and booked on charges of open homicide, which leaves a jury to decide whether Skelton is guilty of first or second degree homicide, if convicted, and 3 counts of tampering with evidence. That's all I can see because it won't let me read it all. But yeah, evidently he just got charged with their homicides finally after 15 years. I'm glad that happened. It's been a long time, and their mother just had them declared deceased earlier this year. We covered the hearing on it. Thank you for letting me know, Hannah. I appreciate that. We'll have to look more into that too. All right,
Let me send him a link again.
Hazel, chill. Okay.
Okay.
There was no. Sarah was the most deceitful. I don't know how else to put it. Lying bitch that I've ever been with in my life. She destroyed me as a person. She then continuously fucked Brandon even after I got arrested. And she got released on that pre-trial release before she was rearrested in November. I mean, because Sarah had tried to contact me through the phone because her fucking mom gave her my number.
What the hell?
Tried to contact me and then pretty much tried to apologize for throwing me out of the bus. And I'm sorry. I'm like, I didn't mean to. I didn't have that intention. And I was like, yeah, but you fucking did. There's not, there's no hesitation. Like, you did what you did. You threw me and you got me arrested for having my gun. Yeah, I mean, she snitched on me for selling my gun.
Okay, but at the end of the day, you're the one that had the firearm, so it's your charge anyway, right? Like, because she snitched on you doesn't mean that she should be held responsible for the crime. But it sounds like a bunch of fuck shit was going on in that household. Lord have mercy, Jesus, in the morning.
That's what it was. That's why I went to fucking jail. She snitched on me for it, and and then and some of y'all are confused about the time frames that she got arrested when I got arrested. So she was arrested April 13th of 2022, which was the day of our anniversary, because she held our tenant Tanner Butler, who was also staying with us at the time, at gunpoint. Threatened him and told him that he had to fucking leave and all this other shit. And if he wasn't going to leave, she was going to kill him.
Okay.
So Sarah turned into a dispute. The cops got called.
Thank
Sarah
you.
ended up getting arrested.
Did you hear him sneeze? Timmy said, I feel like I need beer goggles looking at him to have sympathy for him. I don't necessarily want to have sympathy for him. There's just a lot of fuck shit going on. And I believe if Sarah's in a state of mind to snitch on her old man, to hold somebody at gunpoint and make them leave the premises, to be sleeping with another man, trying to have a baby several times a day, I feel like she might have grabbed a child, honestly. Rachel said Sarah is batshit crazy and violent. With her, after Michael's disappearance, going out and like holding up signs saying the end is near, repent for your sins. Oh, okay. I didn't know if y'all could hear him or not. That makes me feel like there's some cognitive issues there. Guilt, partially, but the other is just weird.
Arrested that night. I didn't. I was still home, but they.
Now hold on. So you were still home on what date?
No, this wasn't the day of his disappearance. This is the day of our anniversary, April 13th of 2022. This is when Sarah got arrested for the failure to report, or for she got charged with assault and battery, attempted concealment of, or attempted destruction of evidence, and possession of a controlled substance. She had hydrocodones in her purse that were in a bag. That she put them in a bag because the bottle had gotten moisture inside of it and the pills were getting wet. So she took them out and put them in a napkin, put them in a Ziploc baggie to dry them out. Which it was beyond my knowledge. I don't even know why she would do that. And it was they hit her with like a class C narcotic or something like that.
Whoa.
But because it was a prescription, but she didn't have them in the bottle they were supposed to be. So she got charged with like 3 charges.
Yeah, but I feel like you could fight that charge if it was your prescription and not catch a felony, from it. Yeah, you did used to call him that. She's crazy. I saw an old TikTok or something of her talking about Jesus. Yeah, they referenced that in the affidavit. I don't know her TikTok though. She didn't want to have a baby. She just wanted a shaka with another man. It appears that way. He's definitely on some bullshit.
Charges that night. So she went to jail at Payette County. Sorry, I gotta turn the heater on. It's cold. And then I did not get arrested until about a month later. So it was less than a month. It was probably 16 days later. They came and hit me. I got pulled over because I got a phone call that morning. I didn't get pulled over. Sorry, I got a phone call that morning from Fruitland Police Department saying, "Hey, you can, your phones are able to be picked up," because they had confiscated all of our phones. So they were like, "Your phones are good to be picked up. You can come and get them. When can you pick them up?" I was like, "Well, I'm in town all day. I'll pick them up at 9:00 tonight."
How do you think that you got pulled over that day, but then you didn't? I mean, maybe if you got pulled over a lot or something. And they referenced the phones and asked them about the phones that they had when Michael went missing and shortly thereafter. And they talk about going through 5 different phones. Because it seems to me, having formerly, lived a criminal style lifestyle, you know what I mean? That they would talk about, if I'm looking from the outside in and I hear they had like 5 different phones that they kept switching, I would think that each one of those phones had a text message about something that happened to Michael, and then they would send the text and they would be like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have sent that text," and then they would destroy the phone and go get another one because they don't seem like the brightest crayons in the box, if you know what I mean.
Which was May 6th of 2022, 2020, April, May, yeah, 2022. So I went down to the police station in Fruitland, called dispatch because it was 9:00 at night, called dispatch, told them that I was there to pick up my phones. Law enforcement
Why would you go that late anyway?
met me outside, and then I had my dog with me at the time. Oakley, the one that you guys have pictures of. Um,
Don
uh,
Jessalon.
I then got out of, or was told to get out of the car and asked to show my ID for verification. It was like a setup, and they arrested me saying for felon in possession of a firearm.
Mm.
So Sarah had narked on me for having a gun
Oh,
before she got arrested, and then
thank you, Salty Sleuth. I need to go make me a pot myself. I've been drinking this new winter edition Red Bull. It's actually like really good. It's apple and ginger. But I appreciate you hanging out with us.
and they ran my name in the system, found out that I was a previous felon, and then they're like, you weren't supposed to have a gun. Well, I didn't even have the gun in the presence of the cops. Sarah told them that I went and sold the gun to a gunsmith in New Plymouth, which I did because we needed the money. So I sold the gun to the gunsmith for $475, and came back home. That was April 12th that I sold it, 2022. So the next day, Sarah gets arrested, tells on me for selling the gun to the.
So, what's the story with the gun? Like, was it suspected that he had a firearm when that? Because he's talking about April 12th, almost a year later. I'm wondering if this firearm was recovered. Was it possibly used in the commission of a crime? Have lots of questions. Kalisa said, I just wonder if these two would be smarter enough to cover up a murder. I know so well that law enforcement couldn't figure it out. I'm with you 100% there. Um, the way that it plays out, it's like they something happens and they keep getting paranoid of each other. It's just like with Harmony Montgomery when his old lady when Adam Montgomery's old lady testifies in court. She says, "I wish I could tell you where Harmony's body was, but where it is, but I don't know because he went and he put her somewhere and he would not let me go." I genuinely believe that. I mean, and I can only draw on, my lifestyle and the life that I've lived, right? And the life that I've lived, we all are aware because I talk about it very openly that I used to be on some pretty heavy substances. And when I would go get these substances, sometimes the guy would have to re-up and like they don't let anybody go with them there. Like a lot of times when you're doing something, you don't want anybody to have information of you go by yourself because a secret's a secret until you tell somebody, right? So, going back to this case in particular, they talk about the body having been in the backyard, and the canines hit on the backyard. They hit out, I think it was one or two places per the affidavit, the probable cause affidavit. And they also point out that they talked to Stacey in the Washington County Jail, which we went over briefly yesterday. I didn't I only played a couple seconds of it. But they point out in the affidavit that Sarah is living in the residence when they go there to look for the body of Michael Vaughan. Now, the fact that Stacey had been in jail and Sarah had been out, and then they're having this conversation at some point prior to this about snitching on each other or flipping on each other and who can testify against who if you're technically married in court, da 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 da, da all the things. It makes sense to me that Sarah would have got paranoid and moved Michael's body somewhere else. However, you would think that the body would be found eventually. It is hard for me to believe that all of these steps happened, and to the extent of when they come back that afternoon, they help to look for Michael, and yet they're not looking nervous, they're not looking weird, nothing's going on. Nobody, I get it, but I could see how both sides could be possible. I could see how they're not smart enough to cover up a crime like this, and I could also see how they might not be very smart. But Sarah is very paranoid, and I could see it happening. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. Ooh, that would be cool. Maybe after I move, me and Salty can get together and yeah, talk about a case together. That would be super cool. You should really try natural energy drinks. They're like Red Bull, but without the crash after. I am a proponent for doTERRA and I have some of their energy drinks, but it's not the same. Like I have ADHD. If I This is gonna sound crazy to y'all, right? But I have some. I've never been diagnosed. I speculate that I have ADHD because I don't go to the doctor normally. But I take Vedivir from DoTerra, which is like for people with ADHD. Prevagen helps your brain too. But when I drink coffee and Red Bull, I can focus a lot better because they stopped having my Red Bull that I liked, which was the peach nectarine, and I wasn't drinking Red Bull for a long time, and I just felt dumb. Like it's weird. Yeah, that would be super cool. I would love to do a stream with you. Um, maybe mid-December or after Christmas. That would be good because right now everything's so up in the air with us moving a couple states away. And I know you're getting settled in as well. That would be so cool. We should definitely do that. That would be really great. Salty. I used to drink Red Bull. Now I drink a brand called Perdneys. I'll look it up. I know you're in the UK, but my husband can drink a Red Bull and fall asleep 20 minutes later. See, I'm the same way. Like, I drink Red Bull at night when I go to sleep, Kelly. Like, I don't know. It's crazy. A cocktail party? Where? Not here. I don't drink alcohol, but
Gunsmith.
maybe.
The same day she assaulted Tanner, and she gets arrested. I get arrested on May 6th, which was a Friday, at like 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night. And that's when my journey began in jail.
Well, some people say that Tanner is the one that snitched on you, not Sarah.
No, Sarah snitched on me. Tanner confirmed it. So Tanner was like her, what do you word it? Like her
Yeah, I would
backup
need a virgin cocktail too.
information person, I guess. I don't know what the word is. But he confirmed everything that Sarah said. And so, yeah, so it was Sarah that started the snitching.
Hey, Max.
They're throwing me under the bus, and then Tanner, they asked Tanner about it, and Tanner confirmed it.
Well, this is going to be a hard question, and if you can't answer it, I understand.
Okay.
Was Tanner and Sarah also together?
No. Not that I
Yeah.
know of. There was never any sexual discussion. Of
I
Course,
definitely
Sarah
never
wasn't always up and
admitted
front
it.
and honest with me about anything, but I don't see Sarah I didn't see Sarah as that as Tanner being of interest to her. He just wasn't like, I don't know, like as a guy, I'm not trying to sound weird, I'm not gay. He just, I know Sarah's preference, and doesn't sound like he would fit that criteria. Then again, before Sarah got married to me, all she dated was black people, so
Okay.
I have really no room.
Let me pause this right here because he said one word and I was like, well, but then he said the other like race of an entire people. Please understand that I in no way condone the things that he's saying or the words that he's using. I find two of the things he just said really gross because it should not matter if you are if you enjoy having relations with somebody that is the same sex of you, or if you enjoy having relations with somebody who is not who is a different race than you. None of those things matter to me. I love everybody equally, and I just want to put that out there because I really didn't like the way he just said that at all. Both of those things.
To really say much.
Yeah, that's what I first time I was
Now,
like,
what about the
second
rumors
time I was like,
about threesomes between you, Brandon, and her?
Never had a threesome a day in my life.
Okay.
It was called the Love Triangle, if that's what you're referring to.
well, a love triangle would make me think that you had a threesome, but I don't know what that necessarily has to do with the disappearance of Michael Monkey Vaughan. But okay, I'll tread down this path slowly with you for right now. The police kept interrogating them and playing them against each other. They're both intellectually impaired, in my opinion, and easily manipulated. Still think they are not good people. That Kalisa said that. I think that they're interrogating them though because the canines are hitting, like the canine walked straight up to their door and then to the bluff signs where the tricycle was that Stacey had in his yard. That tricycle plays a role And I'm wondering if they saw Michael walking around or playing or something. We're like, hey, do you want to play with the tricycle that we have here? Because it was pink too. In the probable cause affidavit, it mentions a pink big wheel. Michael Monkey Vaughan, I don't know if he has siblings. I think he has siblings, but I think they're younger. Not positive on that. Don't come for me. But for Stacey to have a pink big wheel, that would make me think they had it from some other child, or they had bought it for whatever reason, or found it, whatever. And they gave it to Michael to play with, and maybe he was riding around in the area, and then he brings it back, and they're like, just bring it back when you're done. And he brings it back, and then maybe Sarah snatched him at that point. I don't know. But the dogs are hitting on their yard, going up to their door, their fence, the behind the bluff signs where this pink tricycle big wheel thing is. And so that tells me that he was there at some point. So I think that's why they kept interrogating them. It is odd that they seem not to be the sharpest tools in the shed, yet could cover up this homicide. You know what I mean? But it's not impossible. A Queen of Hearts, I hope everything went okay at your 2-week follow-up. If Sarah wanted to sleep with Tanner, what's he gonna do? Probably not a fucking thing. This all clicks a little more in place after hearing Justin and Sam's interview the other night. I don't even know who are Justin and Sam. Are you talking about snatching the pearls? What is it? I don't know. Something about the pearls, snatching pearls, something. Is that the Justin you're referring to? I like, oh, she's one of the girls that day. I don't care for what he was implying. Gross. Right. Salty said exactly, and his parents could easily confirm if it belonged to the family, as in Michael. Right. Right. Hey, Nessa, good to see you.
But that was not a threesome triangle. I've never had a threesome a day in my life. That's not. I'm not even okay with doing something like that. I have more. I
Oh,
have
you're good.
more. I don't know what the word is. Self. Uh, help me out. What's the word? Like I have more respect for myself than that.
Yeah, self-respect.
Yeah. I'm not that person. I find it very rude and disrespectful and degrading to a woman to even ask a question like that.
Well, I apologize for bringing that up. We do
No,
have a
no.
Okay, Mr. Moral Authority. Like, I don't see that at all.
I mean, don't be like you. Here to answer questions and answer the questions that people have.
All right. Well,
Oh, there.
on July 27th, 2021.
So, yes, that's what the affidavit says. The tricycle belonged to Sarah's mother and was seen after the abduction in Stacey's garage. So, I thought that the affidavit just mentions who saw it, not necessarily who it belonged to first. Right there it was. Hold on, it jumped. I just saw it. Big wheel. Hold on. There it is. Dorothy Starkley, who was present at the address in Fruitland, reported on July 29th, which was be 2 days after he goes missing, because he goes missing July 27th. So 2 days after that, she reported 2 days after that she had seen Michael riding a big wheel tricycle around the corner of Red Wing and Meadowlark Avenue on July 27th, 2 days before, as she was either entering or leaving the neighborhood, and then she's seen coming into the neighborhood. And then they talk about it being in his garage, but I think that's all we get about it. Thou shalt not. Yeah, that talks about Sarah being out of her head. Okay, here we go. Kay Ramsey, Sarah's mother, was interviewed and shown a picture of the tricycle described above. Kay claimed that she found the tricycle in some bushes prior to Michael's abduction. Okay. The bushes that Kay described are near where Miss Smith found the tricycle just after Michael's abduction. Kay said that would be the reason for her DNA to be on the tricycle. Kay said that after all of that effort, she left the tricycle at the intersection of Three Rivers Way and South Street. Kay was 73 years old, and the bushes are very difficult to get to. So Kay, Sarah's mother, says that the tricycle was in the bushes before Michael disappeared, but everybody else is saying no, they were in the bushes after Michael disappeared, and that they were in the garage of Kelly and Stacey. At some point. It was seen at a yard sale sometime afterwards in Stacey and Kelly's garage. Not Kelly, Stacey and Sarah's garage. So I'm wondering where the tricycle came from to begin with. Hey, Scratch the Paint, good to see you.
Mhm.
It could have been Sarah's mom. I'm not sure. I might be.
Did
Hey, Anders.
you, Brandon, or Sarah drive on 9th Street?
No,
Okay.
I know personally I didn't. I cannot speak for Brandon or Sarah. So I don't know. I can't speak for them. Like I said, I will not lie about somebody. Like I told you this morning, I will not lie or speak on somebody's behalf if I don't know the truth to it.
Did you ever stop on 8th in Arizona that night?
Correct. On the way out of the subdivision, we did. We were in the truck. The truck, I always had to put power steering in the
I apologize. My children must be getting something out of the truck. We did, but they're going back through it again. I haven't gone back any.
truck because the power steering pump was going out. It had a the it's called the high pressure gasket ring that connects the power steering hose to the core was bad. I didn't fix that until after like a month later I ended up getting it fixed. But uh it was called a high pressure seal. There we go. High pressure seal for the power steering. And so the power steering had a huge was spraying all over. Every probably
Good
I
question.
don't know, probably every 4, 5, 6 hours, we had to stop and refill power steering fluid because there was a huge whining noise going on and it was causing from the power steering.
Okay,
We did stop on Arizona.
so you did stop on 8th in Arizona. What
Well,
vehicle were you in?
the truck.
So they talk about this in the affidavit. They say to put power steering fluid. It says that they gave 2 reasons for stopping there, and that was to put power steering fluid in the truck and to put GPS in to the phone to get to Brandon's mother's house in the affidavit. For me, the truck making the sound with the power steering would be uh cause attention to be drawn to your vehicle. And that would be something I mean, if they really did this, which I tend to lean towards they did, then yeah, they're going to stop and try to put power steering fluid in because they don't want to draw attention to themselves because allegedly Michael's in the truck bed at this time. Till after what, Stacey? Did he just say after? Oh, hold on. Let me back it up. I'm going to back it up a minute. We're at 35:49. We'll go to 34:13. Hold on.
So I don't know. I can't speak for them. Like I said, I will not lie about somebody. Like I told you this morning, I will not lie or
Hey,
speak on
Brady.
somebody's behalf if I don't know the truth to it.
Did you ever stop on 8th in Arizona that night?
All right, let's listen.
Correct. On the way out of the subdivision, we did. We were in the truck. The truck, I always had to put power steering in the truck because the power steering pump was going out. It had a the it's called the high pressure gasket ring that connects the power steering hose to the core was bad. I didn't fix that until after like a month later I ended up getting it fixed. But
So he just said I didn't fix that until after, and then pauses like a month later, I got it fixed. After what? I didn't fix that until after Michael was gone? What do you mean after what? He says after and then switches it to a month later. Thank you for catching that, YouTube bad actors.
On 8th in
back it up.
Arizona that night.
Little too much,
Correct.
but
On the way out of the subdivision, we were in the truck. The truck, I always had to put power steering in
look at
the
his
truck
eyes when he says
because the
it.
power steering pump was going out. It had a high the it's called the high pressure gasket ring that connects the power steering hose to the core. Was bad. I didn't fix that until after.
Oh, look. Watch his eyes going back and forth like he's about to fuck up and he's trying to proceed very cautiously. I'm only going to go back a couple of seconds this time. Gracious, I keep going back too far. Okay, mouse. Watch his eyes.
After
Look at him.
like a
Good Lord, they darted back and forth like 6 times.
month later, I ended up getting it fixed. But
That was a good catch.
it was called a high pressure seal. There we go, high pressure seal for the power steering. And so the power steering had a huge was spraying all over. Every probably I don't know, probably every 4, 5, 6 hours, we had to stop and refill power steering fluid because there was a huge whining noise going on and it was causing from the power steering.
Okay,
We did stop on Arizona.
so you did stop on 8th in Arizona. What
Right.
vehicle were you in?
There
The
is
truck.
Nessa. They appear to have been in the truck, and his eyes aren't going crazy right now.
Carson's truck or
No, the burgundy truck. Well, my truck, the GMC
I'm sorry.
Sierra.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry. No, okay. You're fine. You're not doing anything wrong. I mean, you're being transparent. You're clearing everything up.
That's all I'm here to do. Want people to know, like, I'm not what it seems to be. That's why I'm doing this, because I want people to be like, okay, like he's really
He's not making any eye contact with the camera right now.
being serious.
Oh, we know. Trust me, we
Wiping his
know
face.
you're serious. Okay, now I want to ask you something. Again, if there's something that you don't feel comfortable answering, then don't.
Signs
Okay.
of life.
I know several people have talked to Adrian, and he said that he was
Okay, have a
in
good day,
a
buddy.
sexual relationship with Sarah.
Okay, Adrian is the other person at the house with Brandon and Stacey, and we already know Brandon and Sarah were having relations. Aiden is the one that was hiding in the closet that he hasn't referenced being at the house at all yet. And then, of course, Stacey's there. So was Sarah having relations with every single person in the house? Because so far, 2 out of the 3 she was.
I didn't find out until Adrian and like there's like sexual relation. I was approached by the detective. I can't remember her name, but she was the female detective with the long black hair. She had informed me that you're welcome, Pat. She had informed me that Sarah and Adrian had been having a sexual relationship, and that was approached to me when I was in jail. So
But he knows, Lorianne said AS, but he's not sitting there she's not sitting there chatting with him as a picture, but he knows that he's being live streamed, and so he's still not looking in at the camera as if to look at the audience when he says that, which could be, to me, is a sign of deception. I don't know if it would be for anybody else, but for me, like, if you're really trying to clear your name, you're gonna be sitting there, you're gonna have your phone where you're looking at the audience, or you're being live streamed looking at the camera, which would be the audience the entire time, so that they can read your body language. Is she really interested in this? I think so. I don't know.
I didn't know anything about that. I thought it was 100% just a friendship. I didn't. Then again, like I've said, Sarah has been very, very dishonest and deceitful, and very ignorant.
That must have felt horrible when, you found out the truth about people you trusted.
It was devastating. It wasn't fair. Here I am trying to be loyal and faithful to Sarah, the best way I can. We've had our arguments or disagreements or our trouble.
So Sarah's sleeping with everybody in the house, evidently. I checked and I don't see anything from the behavior panel on Stacey Wondra, but they might cover him now that these documents have been dropped. Yeah, he's about as transparent as a solid piece of wood. You're right about that, Abraham. That depends on his normal. If he looks at the camera sometimes, then it could be a tell. Right. You're right. The Eaton gal didn't look at the camera the other day, the Kentucky clusterfuck. Inton girl. Oh, you're talking about okay, I know who you're talking about. I mean, you have a point. I believe her story. Sometimes I was telling Mr. Speculating about that today. Sometimes the most fucked up shit you find out is the truth of the matter. Things that seem like there's no fucking way. I mean, think about any conspiracy theory involving the government, and then you find out, like MK Ultra, for example. We found out that that was absolutely true. Like things that seem like there's no fucking way in hell, you find out is true. I don't think he ever looks at the camera. Hmm. He doesn't tend to much, but he does sometimes, I think.
I mean, who does it in a marriage? I mean, you're bound. I mean, if you don't have troubles or arguments in a marriage, then there's something wrong.
Showing.
You know, I don't. Nobody's. You're not one perfect. There's not one perfect marriage. Without that has absolutely nothing but just solitude and solidity and you know, um,
Yeah, you're gonna argue if you live with somebody, whether you're married or not. Queen of Hearts said, Brooke is great in this interview because she isn't showing her absolute disdain for him. She was ripping him apart when not on the phone with him. She hates him so much. I was watching it live. I didn't know that. Thank you for the information. Why must you try to be honest and faithful? That should come natural. If it doesn't, then Houston, we have a problem. No, no, no shit. Yeah, one eye looks sometimes. There you go. That's what I've seen. I don't know. He's talking in circles, word salad at this point, trying to see if we can tell we're trying to see what his story was at first, how it's changed over time as we go through the interviews, and what he does when he lies. Lovely Bones, thank you for coming in, and I hope you have a good day. He is trying really hard to speak intelligently. I picked up on that too.
it's just made 100% of happiness. You're gonna have your downfalls. It's just a part of life. And Sarah and I had a lot of those, but never once. I mean, there was never a time that I felt the need to lie to her or um, hide shit from her. I was open about everything with her.
He says that and then scratches his neck. If he's going to the splash pad to watch little children play and then a child disappears, like, what do you mean? You were open with her about everything? Like you told her you like to watch little children play? Or you told her everything except that, and that's why you scratched your neck afterwards because you're lying? I have questions.
Did you want to have a child, or was it more Sarah?
It was Sarah. I was in agreement because of her wanting a child. Um, but I even told Sarah, I was like, look, we're not in a financial situation to have a kid right now. I said, and she's like, I've only got a certain time frame left before I can't have kids anymore. I said, I get that. And she basically pretty much coerced me and was like, yeah, we're going to have a kid. And I was like, oh, fine. Like, um, so that's, I mean, that's what I have on that. Uh, I don't really know. I just know Sarah was very deceitful, very dishonest, very disloyal. untrusting, violent. Um, Sarah was very aggressive towards me, like I was telling you this morning, Brooks. Sarah was very aggressive and abusive towards me. um,
Ooh, cover your damn mouth. I believe Sarah might have been abusive, as angry as she is and sleeping with everybody in the house. Kelly said, so why would she kidnap a child to sell if she supposedly wanted one so bad? Great question. That kidnapping a child to sell is interesting to me. I'm wondering if she wanted to kidnap him to keep. I don't know. It's all very weird. Hey, Kim Gettle, good to see you. Coerced means talked him like she talked him into having a child. Oh, sorry. I apologize. It was said in a difficult way. I get it now. I wasn't trying to be
she
ignorant.
held me down on the couch when I was laying down on my stomach. She held me down on the couch with a butcher knife to my throat. Also, a time where she held me at gunpoint with a loaded 12 gauge shotgun with a slug in the chamber.
A slug? I mean, birdshot? What do you mean slug? 12 gauge I wouldn't think of a slug for a 12 gauge. I would think of a slug for like a 9 millimeter or something like, or a 45, not a freaking buckshot or birdshot in a 12 gauge. What the fuck?
There's
Maybe
not.
I'm wrong.
She was not a kosher person. She was a fake. And
Yeah,
I
Wolfpack.
told my mom so many times. I was like, Mom, like I'm not comfortable being married to her anymore. And there was times
Me
where
too.
she was like, what do you need? I said, I just need out. So I mean, and then I would leave, and then something about Sarah would bring me back. It's out of stupidity. It was lost. Um,
So Uncle Google says that Sarah Wondra has not had a child. And she's currently serving time for unrelated crimes, and there's no information indicating that she has had a child. The case of the disappearance of a 5-year-old boy, Michael Vaughan, is connected to her, but it does not imply any personal child of her own.
like it's just very it's very hard being in that marriage, but thankfully uh I'm not together
Mhm.
with her. She tries to call me every now and then from prison. She's currently located in Boise, um at the South Women's Correctional Facility. I don't remember what the name of it, but um
Right?
she's in there because of the things with Tanner. For 3 years. She'll be out. Her parole eligibility date is February 20th of 2026. Um, but that doesn't mean she's going to get out then. That's just when she will see the parole board.
It's funny that he says that because he was supposed to be getting released when he was brought down and charged with the homicide of Michael Monkey Vaughn. Kelly said, is he trying to get sympathy here because he's failing at it? Failing bad. Oh, okay. MVM, thank you for that information. MVM says she did have a baby and her mom made her put it up for adoption. Do you happen to know who the alleged father was, MVM? That's interesting. I wonder why Uncle Google doesn't pull that up. I mean, I guess because she had to put the baby up for adoption, but that's interesting. Thank you for the information on that. Thank you for the correction.
Now,
Yeah.
can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Do you have any opinion why Sarah said you were involved?
Not at all. I know for a fact I wasn't
She
even
was
home.
young. Okay.
At the time frame that this little boy went missing, or I wasn't home throughout the day. And then there was nothing odd going on at our house even when I got home that night. So it makes no sense at all. Not one piece of it. I know for a fact it wasn't me. So I don't know where she's getting.
It says Sarah Wondra has not given birth. There's no information available on sources regarding her having a child. But I believe that she might have had a child very young and given it up for adoption. And that could be why she wanted to have a baby. That could be why she took Michael Monkey Vaughan. I don't know. I think that it was something more nefarious, unfortunately. But, I wasn't there. I don't know. I'm learning this case. We're kind of learning it together, those of us that don't know it.
Uh, her little um, ridiculous pieces of information, but they've got the wrong person. I wasn't even home. And like I also told you this morning, Brooks, and I'll let everybody know on here. 3 people on May 19th of 2022 got polygraph tests on behalf of Michael Vaughan. That was Sarah, Brandon, and me. Out of the 3 people that got tested, I was the only one to pass the polygraph test. Sarah and Brandon had failed it.
So I don't know that I necessarily believe that. I want to hear that from law enforcement, but if that's true, how was he able to pass a polygraph test? Was he not able to take it because of mental defect or something? That's really weird for me. The baby is reported by her ex-husband, and he said that is what she told him, but he couldn't confirm it. Interesting, Queen of Hearts. So it could be real, it could be a lie. I wonder if her mom has said anything about it. I feel like law enforcement kept at both of them in interrogation, telling both that they were saying stuff they weren't, promising them things if they say what they want, trying to get a conviction. It's possible. He's lying again. I think it's when he looks down. Yeah, he doesn't answer straightforward. He goes all around the houses to get to the bus stop and never makes it to the bus stop. You're right. Yes, Abraham. So this guy's involved in the kidnapping, or does he just know about it from his wife telling him? No, he says his story is that Sarah came in the house holding Michael, and they duct taped him, all of them in the house, duct taped them and put him in a duffel bag and put him in the back of the red truck while they drove to Kona to go get Brandon's vehicle. They could hear Michael screaming a dull scream in the back, but then by the time they had gotten to Kona, they alleged that he had suffocated, and they put him in the room, an extra room at Brandon's mother's house, and then went back the next day and got him, and he was buried in the backyard. The reason I believe this is because the dogs hit on a scent going up to their fence, up to their door, and in their backyard. But when he recalls them duct taping Michael Vaughan and putting him in the duffel bag, he vomits. And considering that he liked to look at children at the splash pad, it makes me think something else more nefarious happened. And actually, when they were duct taping him and putting him into the duffel bag, that he might not have been on this earthly plane anymore. And he was remembering in his mind what happened when he actually died, even though that's not the words that were coming out of his mouth. And because he saw that image in his head, it made him vomit. Josh at the lab. Ooh, I'm gonna look that one up.
So I just want to put that out there for everybody, just so you guys have an idea. Unfortunately, in the eyes of Idaho, I don't know everybody else, but in the eyes of Idaho law, a polygraph is not admissible in court unless it is deemed that you failed it. So, I don't know. I'm appalled. I'm very appalled. Like I told you this morning as well. I want justice for this little boy. I want this little boy to come back home to his mother and father. It tears
See, there he's looking in the camera and he's appalled because Brandon and Sarah failed the polygraph test. Give me a fucking break.
me up inside. I hurt badly because I want this little boy to be
Of course.
with his family. I would kill somebody if that happened to my kid. So I
How old,
can only
how old is
imagine
your
what they're going through.
how old is your baby?
Toes or nose?
I don't have a baby.
Oh, you said my kid. Okay.
No, I was saying like in general, like if that was me in that situation and somebody took my kid, I would kill somebody.
Did law enforcement ever ask you where Michael is buried?
Did it what?
Did law enforcement ever ask you where Michael is buried?
Yeah, and I told them I don't have any idea. They asked me about our backyard, and I said that's not even possible. There's no trench marks. There's no dig marks. There's absolutely no. There's nothing. There's not even.
So that's a lie because the probable cause affidavit says that there were holes in the backyard that they claimed the dog had dug. Not using the kid's name. That's another good point.
Even. I mean, there's nothing at all in our backyard. Even by the shed that people are questioning about, that shed was there on our property since we moved there. That house belonged to Sarah's mom and dad.
So I think judging by what he said, maybe there was allegations that the shed got put on top of Michael's body, like Michael got buried and then the shed was put there on top of him. But he's saying that, that's not even possible because the shed was there before they even moved in. Not one of his interviews age well because he lies and gives very different details every time. I'm interested to learn. Anderson, why does he need to run his mouth all the time? He tormented the mother with his lies. I feel so bad for Michael's mother.
And we were there since June of 2020.
20 of 20. Okay. And when did Adrian move in approximately?
It's like a year later, I want to say like June, early July.
And how did you guys come across him? Because he has an issue with, human trafficking.
I told you that this morning.
What? That's the first I've heard about an issue with human trafficking. I need to know what this Adrian character's issue. She said Adrian or Brandon. I thought she said Adrian. What is his thing with human trafficking? We need to expand on that because it's in the affidavit that Sarah took him because they would get a $10,000 piece cut. Brandy also just had her liver transplant. Thank you for telling me her name. I wasn't sure of what it was. I knew that she had had some type of medical surgery that they were saying, please let her deal with this. She's already trying to heal from her surgery, and then to find out all this. And that's the one thing I would ask those of you creators, if any of you are watching this that have contact with Brandy, for the love of God, please let that woman heal before you go asking her to come talk about things. Give that woman some months to try to cope and deal with some things. Please, for the love of God.
So Sarah had called me for I was at home at the time. I don't know. This was in June or early July. Called me and said that, hey, I have a question for you. We need to talk. I have a taxi customer who called me asking if we would just help him out with a ride. He doesn't have any money at the time. But I'm really compelled to help him. He also doesn't have a place to live. He's staying behind a dumpster in Caldwell. Do you feel like we're in a position to help him out? My response to Sarah was this. I said, I do not feel comfortable.
Oh, good Samaritans and all.
I said, our situation. You know that, yes, we do have a heart to help people. We love to help people.
Queen of Hearts said it was actually March or April. Adrian was into that. That friend of his heard Sarah and Adrian talking about it, and then Sarah pistol whipped Adrian in front of him. Wow. Interesting. How did he get involved in trafficking? YouTube Bad Actor said that Brandy so badly wants for Michael to be brought home before she passes away, and I pray for her. I will keep her in my thoughts and prayers too. Is she already on some channels? I hope that she's had time to process. Lord have mercy. I hope you're okay.
But we're not in a financial situation nor a physical ability to take on somebody else's, problems. She then approached me and was like, "Well, I really feel like this is God's calling. Again, the whole God thing. Uh, God wants me to help him.
Oh,
God's
okay.
telling me we should help him." And I'm like, you know what? Fine, do what you want to do. I had told her specifically I was not okay with it, but being the person that she is and being the person I am, you know, I suggested and told her that it wasn't okay. But she did it anyways, and as a
That's
result,
good.
he caused us problems.
Like what kind of problems besides?
I mean, apparently he was fucking her behind my back.
Yeah.
Like he
Okay.
would try to get us to scam people for, like I was telling you this morning, Brooks, scam people, creating a false or a fake chat line, and then hustling people for their money and taking their money from them through Cash App. I mean, just those kind of problems, stuff that, Sarah and I didn't really want a part of. Sarah agreed to help him with it. I didn't, but it also never went anywhere, to my knowledge. And if it did, I sure as hell wasn't aware of it. Is there any way I can see the chats that people are leaving, or is that just on your side?
Well, we're on StreamYard, so you probably can't, but I'm putting up questions and asking you questions as they
Got
come
you.
in.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
I looked up Adrian Lucifer on TikTok, and this is what it pulled up. This isn't him, though, right? That can't be him. I never knew until recently how involved Adrian was. It's very upsetting. Looks like he lives at the beach somewhere, so I'm thinking this is not the same person. And I don't see anything referencing what happened. I think he's some kind of model or something. No. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I might be able to figure it out and change it. I mean, we have one question right here from Jesse. What brought law enforcement to your house for Michael
Hey,
Vaughan?
Parabola.
Carson said cadaver dogs alerted at your front door.
Okay, I apologize. Again, what brought law enforcement to your house for Michael Vaughan? Carson said cadaver dogs alerted at your front door, which we know per the probable cause affidavit that they did.
No. So I I don't have any way to really answer that. I don't know. I know that apparently, so the cadaver dogs they didn't hit at the front door. The cadaver dogs, from what I'm being told and what I understand, the cadaver dogs had hit around the general premises of the neighborhood, like the property. Just because a cadaver dog, like my experience, with and knowledge with law enforcement, like just because a cadaver dog hits on a certain on how do I word it? I don't have an answer for that, I guess.
got Sarah's
I
up.
don't know. All I know is that I'm being told that the cadaver dogs hit around the property but not on the property, if that makes sense. Like in the general concept of a neighborhood. Carson I don't know why Carson would say anything such as,
So there is a way, but you have to find it. I've been on Hio's panel on my phone on StreamYard, and it's like you have to chat, you have to push chat, and then you have to go from chat to like main chat or top messages or something, and then you can see what chat's saying. But Queen of Hearts says, see how Brooks is not letting him see the chat because he would see how much the chat hates him, and she was also chatting. He calls them cadabra dogs. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, Jerry, he's very obsessed with the chat. I think he wants to know if they're believing him or not. Right, Tammy? If that was the right Adrian, I would be propositioning him also. I found Sarah's TikTok. I saw this. I don't know what it is. Husband knows how to get down. What the fuck? This looks like a drunken rape. Okay. I don't know what all that's about, but there's a lot. The fuck is this?
Hi, Stacey. Love pal.
Oh God. I didn't mean to put that baby's face up here. I didn't realize. I thought it was Stacey. God bless. I hope that child is not around her. I did see this Ontario, Oregon.
So we are in Ontario. We believe this man, poor guy, got hit and ran. Not sure, but we think so because there's not a second vehicle here. His radiator is definitely shot. Police are out there checking it all out. This is Ontario, Oregon.
That's where she was supposedly with the signs talking about God. What does she say here?
Only Jesus is worthy of his Father. So why am I saying this to you? Why does anybody think they're going to go to heaven if only Jesus is worthy? Why do people think that they'll be able to go to heaven at all? Because Jesus said that if we believe in him, he will take us to his Father. So let's look at that. There's a lie out there that say all religions come to go to God. But not all religions put Jesus in his rightful place. Only one relationship with God through his son Jesus Christ, not religion.
Okay, I can't listen to this woman preach to me, especially when she needs a tube of chapstick. I don't know the one about the fortune cookies. Wow. It's a lot of religion stuff. Sin is ugly. Yeah, she's having some kind of breakdown. I think. Jesus is coming soon. This looks like it might be what she wrote
So
to wear.
Jesus is
It's
calling
October
me.
10th of 2021.
So Jesus is calling me.
She might have worn that at the Love's truck stop where she's talking about Jesus is coming, repent for your sins. She knows scripture, but the applications and reference is frightening. I agree. All right, we'll click back over here.
the cadaver dog's alerting because Carson wasn't even home that day. From what I remember, he was out doing his little painting gig that he does. Carson's a professional painter, so he wasn't even home the night of this disappearance or the day of this
Hold on, I'll tell
disappearance.
you.
Oh, was it day or night?
I don't know, I know Carson wasn't there at all that day. Is what I'm trying to say.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I just got
it's okay. It's okay.
So the affidavit, I'll pull it up because it's easy, says that Sarah's social media posts on TikTok, Facebook also changed drastically to religion and asking for forgiveness for her sins. Prior or before Michael's abduction, she had only posted approximately 11 videos on TikTok, over 3 years. Following Michael's abduction, Sarah posted approximately 329 videos from September 15th of 2021 through December 24th of 2021. And before that, she had posted 11 videos in 3 years. Very, very, very stark difference. Like something's weighing heavy on her soul that she feels like she needs to repent for. That is hilarious. Yeah, that's a big one too there, Sarah.
Yeah, no, I know that Carson has, a full-time work job, but I also know, and I found
Oh,
this
you're
out
good.
through the detective as well, that Carson and his wife also are registered sex offenders. I didn't
What?
find that out until after.
So this person, Carson, and his wife are sex offenders. Okay.
Until after started getting questioned by the detectives.
Well, did you have any conversations with Carson, let's say a few days before Michael disappeared?
About what?
Oh, anything.
I mean, Carson and I talked all the time, specifically, mainly about mechanic stuff.
Okay.
Or him and I like to go, shooting. We would go shoot gophers down at the off of Pearl Road. It's like going towards Parma.
Why are you killing animals? What the fuck?
There's a giant uh, piece of property where people go ride their dirt bikes or people there. I mean, it's just filled with gophers. Or whistle pigs. So we'd go shoot gophers. So I don't know. I mean, 90% of the conversation with Carson was legitimately mechanic questions or mechanic conversations.
Well, and you guys were friends. He tried to basically disassociate himself from you and Sarah and the house, but Sarah said that Michael was buried in his backyard, and that's not the case.
It makes no fucking sense. Again, where I want law enforcement to sit there and show everybody. I want them to show pictures of the grass. I want them to show the evidence, the ground penetrating surveillance. I want them to show where they see that there was a hole dug. Because
Well, in the probable cause affidavit, it says there were several holes dug. Queen of Hearts said, I wonder their involvement in the condition of Michael before the duffel bag. I hate to say that, but I wonder. I do too. Because specifically because he vomited when recalling that part of the story. So that tells me that you're lying because I'm not trying to be graphic, okay? But again, let's say this horrible thing was committed. If you were putting the child in the duffel bag and duct taping them while they were alive, that's not going to make you vomit. Like if he recalled the story and was like, we opened the bag when we got to Brandon's house and saw that he had suffocated. If he threw up at that point, maybe I would believe him because again, you're seeing a deceased body, but it makes me think that that's the moment you saw a deceased body or you committed the crime of homicide and then saw this deceased body. Regardless, saw the deceased body and you're recalling that in your mind and it's making you throw up because I don't think they ever did it before. That's just me though. Whistle pig. It's a gopher. And I don't know why they're out there killing poor defenseless gophers. His 10-year friend, more of an employer than a friend, said that Stacey couldn't walk 10 feet before stopping to breathe. Wow. Carson and his wife may have been involved. See, it just keeps getting bigger, and they're talking about trafficking and all kinds of stuff. Evidently, he had pneumonia in this interview, so I don't know. Oh, I'm sorry, Madeline. I hope that you feel better. Get you some lemon and honey or honey and garlic. That'll help with that.
I know for a fact that if you're going to dig a hole on a property, on some even grass of any sort, anything, it could be anywhere, you're going to leave a dirt trail. It's it's common sense. You're not gonna just dig a hole and have absolutely no residue from it. No remaining dirt left on the ground.
Well, I
So
wonder who told them that, because Michael disappeared in July of 2021 and they started the dig in November of 2022. Obviously, say between rains and snow and grass growing back over, there wouldn't be.
I agree with Brooks on that.
I don't know. I have no idea. It makes me appalled.
Quickly, I can show you a picture of it later, but you take garlic cloves, the cloves without the paper on it, put it in a jar, and then cover the cloves with honey. Let it sit for a month, and that's a good antiviral natural remedy to help you get rid of any kind of sickness, and it'll help with your cough and stuff too. I'm glad you have your lemon and honey. There's a creator that sounds worse than him on a nightly basis. Hold on, I got something for that. I probably shouldn't do it, but I'm going to do it because I've been wanting to play this one for a while. Oh, no, wrong one. Hold on. It's over here. Let me put an overlay up before I play it because I'm not going to go that far. Here you go.
Your mama's high, bitch. Get out of my chat.
I put an overlay up, but it still came up. All right, let me go back over here. I don't want to make anybody upset. But yeah, that person probably needs to see a doctor, in my opinion.
Well, Sarah, I mean, I can't say Sarah said it. I can't say that because it's just rumors, around the internet. Did Sarah change her clothes that day after towing the car? Was there any missing clothes of Sarah's?
No. Sarah wore the same. Sarah literally wears one outfit a day. She changes from her pajamas. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, we slept naked together, so there was no really pajamas.
Lord Jesus, Sarah's having sex with everybody and sleeping naked in the bed? Good Lord, woman. Yeah, she needs to repent.
But we had company. We had, Brandon that was staying there. We also had Adrian, so she wasn't going to walk out in the living room naked. Neither was I. So we put clothes on. But we didn't get dressed for the day. You know what I mean? We didn't get dressed till later on. So,
Well, see, so Brandon said that, him and Sarah had breakfast that morning and then headed out and went to the mall.
What'd you say they did?
Had breakfast.
No, we had breakfast at our house that morning, if I remember right. Sarah
I assumed it was your house.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, no, Sarah literally wore one outfit that day. I don't. Yeah, she's not the type of person where she changes her clothes 100 times a day.
Unlike me, I can't make my mind up.
Sometimes have that issue too, and I'm a dude.
No, I do. Especially during certain types of weather, it'll be cold in the morning or cooler because I live in Oklahoma, and then I'll have shorts on in the afternoon, and then I go to pajamas in the evening. It's a hell of a load of laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did you have a dog?
Yeah, I had my dog. Her name was Oakley. It's the one that you see pictures with on Facebook. The little brown and black dog.
Okay, so I wasn't quite sure if that was your dog or you were babysitting a dog, because I heard that you guys have a dog business as well. That could be a rumor.
The dog business? No.
Because
Never
there
had a
was
dog that a day in my life. No.
okay.
But again, now that we have the probable cause affidavit, it references it being his dog that dug the holes in the backyard, allegedly. Kim said not everyone gets sick when they find a body. Some poor soul was hit by a car and left, and my brother walked to the store and found the poor guy on the way back. He didn't puke, but he called 911. Damn. I'm sorry that happened. Tubbalard cuddle puddle. Ugh.
Did your dog ever dig anything up in the backyard?
No. She was a hound dog. Hound dogs dig. So she was always digging a hole in the backyard. It didn't matter where the spot was. I mean anywhere
But you just referenced there not being any holes in the backyard, so what the fuck?
in the backyard she would tear it up. It's just how hound dogs are.
I think it will be.
You know, they do that.
Oh no, Lori.
I never trained her differently. You know, I always thought that I was like, okay, well, you're, doing what you got to do, but she never dug anything up. No. She was a digger, yes, but did she dig anything up? No. Mm.
All right. A lot of people have questions about the trip to Texas.
Ask them away. Let's get them done with.
Okay. Well, hang on. Let's start with this. Give me a second.
One.
Sarah said on October 7th that you were out of the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Was that on the way there or on the way back?
On the way there.
On the way
Okay.
where?
I assumed you all were on your way back. I apologize.
No, that was on the way there.
Okay, so you
If Stacy's out of the hospital, that would imply that he's on the way back to somewhere, like coming home from the hospital. Huh.
were in Melrose, New Mexico.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, and she said that you checked yourself out. You had no discharge papers, and that you signed against medical advice.
Yeah, to not have discharge papers, you have to sign and leave AMA, which is against medical advice. Let's see. Hold on. Let me make it big. There we go. Now let's read what this says. Stacey Wondra said, "Hallelujah! God is amazing, awesome, in power. He is higher than any other." Brandon O'Brien said, "What did they say was the cause?" So Brandon O'Brien, let me write that down. Might be the Brandon dude that was the roommate, but it said Brandon Skillen something shirt something shirt. I don't know. Let me write that down real quick to see what we can pull on these people. Because I am fully invested in deep diving all of this. Sarah said, "Brandon, he just walked out. They didn't tell him." Branda said, "Sarah, it should be in discharge papers if he was in the ER. Hopefully it was nothing serious." Sarah said, "Brandon, he didn't get papers because he signed against medical advice form and left." Brandon said, "Sarah, I see."
She said that you checked yourself out.
It is very odd.
You had no discharge papers, and that you signed against medical advice.
Damn.
I don't remember exactly. Probably just because I think they were trying to like. I don't remember exactly what the reasoning was. I literally went in there to get checked to see what was going on because I was having a very hard time breathing. As you know, I was a very big guy, a lot bigger than what I am now, and so I think a lot of it had to do with the temperature change, the climate, the air. It was just
Oh,
different
wow.
than what I was used to. So that was why I'd gone to the hospital because I was having a very hard time breathing.
So explain the trip, why you went all the way down there.
Okay, so Sarah and I had been doing.
So the trip is because they went from Idaho to New Mexico, from what I'm understanding. Explaining the trip, is that what that means? Abraham said was having a hard time breathing. I mean, damn. I'm sorry that you're going through that, Kalisa. Um, I've been packing up for a couple of weeks now, trying to pack only what's important. But I'll be honest with y'all. I think that I've said it before in a different live that, like, I'll have like a piece of tin off of a roof or something, and I'll be like, oh, I can build a crucible and get a fire to like 3,000 degrees and melt that, and then I can make a mold and pour it in and make me a king cup, like a chalice. And it's like, ma'am, get rid of the tin because you're not going to build a crucible, melt it down, build a mold, and have a chalice. Stop it, Jessica. Stop it right now. So it's been a lot for me to try to pack. It's very stressful for me in particular. All right. So she just asked him what was the reason for the move from Idaho, I'm assuming, or Oregon to New Mexico.
Doing a little bit of
Yes.
so there's a gal in Boise. I
Yeah.
think she still lives there. Her name is Amy Church. It was the gal that Sarah and I connected with. She had posted an ad initially on Craigslist years ago, back in 2021, I think, or I don't remember, but she had posted an ad on Craigslist saying that she's looking for somebody to deliver a puppy to Grants Pass, Oregon.
Where's
So
that?
Grants Pass, Oregon.
How far is that from Fruitland?
I mean, it's clear on the other side of like the other side of Portland. So probably 8 hours, 9 hours. If I had to guess, I haven't looked it up. I don't have a way to look it up on the map, but right now, because I'm on the video, but pretty sure it's like an 8 or a 9 hour drive. So we had agreed to do it because she was willing to pay us like $500 or $600.
Right.
We also took the truck that night to
Yeah.
Grants Pass,
Yeah.
Oregon, because we also found a guy on Craigslist that
Me
needed
too.
his pull behind camper towed to Walla Walla. Walla Walla was on the way to Grants Pass, Oregon. So Sarah, Brandon, and me, and this guy and the dog, and then this guy we picked up for the camper, that had the camper, all drove to Grants Pass, or well, drove to Walla Walla, dropped him off in his camper, and then we continued the drive to Grants Pass, Oregon, dropped off the black lab puppy, and then headed back home. That was for that. So basically what I'm trying to tell you all is we did a lot of we try to do what we could to serve our community. The trip, as far as the trip to Texas goes, so we initially gone to Texas.
He said we try to do what we can to serve our community. Again, the Mother Teresa's of the neighborhood.
Because we were offered, it was like
Pretty
12 or
confident.
$1,400. She tried to give us a quote of $1,000. We were like, no, we're not going to do it for $1,000. Like, we need to account for this trip, the gas it's going to take, the food, the hotel stay, and then the trip back. So we counter offered and offered like 12 or $1,400, and she was like, okay, that's fine. So she gave us $900, I believe, up front, and was going to pay us the remaining.
They are such outstanding citizens of the entire community. Exactly. True crime.
Once we picked up the dog, which she did. On the way to Texas, I don't remember. It was started with an L. It was a small city in
Good
Texas.
question.
We ended up encountering, it was on a 2-lane highway. We encountered a detour sign. I know a
Well,
lot of you have questions about the muddy road and why we took the muddy road. So to answer your guys' question is we ended up taking the detour. Yep, there you go.
whoa. Okay, Sarah Ann Wondra, October 6th of 2021. Jesus lives and he wants you to turn to him. He's coming soon. Don't miss his grace. And they're on a muddy road. Wow. So that's implying that they went down the muddy road to dispose of Michael's body or put it somewhere. Michael could be anywhere. I mean, if they didn't even search until November, that's quite the amount of time to be able to move a body. And he references watching um like police shows and things like that. Interesting.
Took the detour. The detour literally was off the main highway or
Right,
the main
Trevon?
2-lane highway. We took the detour because there's a fatality. Took the detour, and then like a quarter mile
No,
down
I
the
want
detour
one.
road, there was another detour sign that pointed to the right. We took that road, which was that road that that photo was just showed up on. We ended up there was like 2 vehicles in front of us. Uh, the trucks that ended up making it through all the way. So it wasn't just us that was on that road. But we tried to go through it thinking we'd make it, and we got stuck. We didn't know what to do. I mean, there was no way I was going to be able to push us out of there because of, I mean, my size, and secondly, just how deep the car was stuck.
Now go ahead with, we'll get to that
Okay.
question next.
Okay.
So this person, Jeep Girl, says, Stacey, have you watched Brandon's interview with JLR? How much of it do you agree with? Please explain. So that tells us that JLR did an interview with Brandon. We're going to check that one out. That evidently happened before this one.
So um so I called the tow truck company. The first one I called, they were trying to quote us like $250 to bring a tow truck out to our location and pull us out. And I was like, well, that's not going to work because we need all the money we can get to get back. So to get to the rest of our destination, to go pick up the dog and then go back.
Wolfpack said there's a hormone the body releases when we lie. That's why he's itching. It's usually the nose that itches, so he must be beyond lying. Interesting. I had no idea. Yes, in the hot tub. I'm going to check that out.
So after uh after making a couple more calls, I was able to get a hold of a guy who personally owned a tow truck company, but he was willing to come and help. I just explained to him, I was like, we're struggling, we're stuck, we're down here to rescue a dog or pick up a dog for a lady in Boise. Uh, they detoured us, they got us stuck, or they got us stuck in this road, muddy hole or whatever, muddy pit, and we don't really have a way to get out. And he's like, okay, just hang tight, I'll come and get you out of there. So out of the kindness, this guy drove over in his Toyota 4Runner, pulled up in front of us, pulled the, connected a tow strap, and pulled us out. At that point, we then continued on with our trip, and we carried on to go get the dog. I think it was the next day that we ended up getting the dog, and then stayed at the hotel overnight, and then drove back.
Well, now Sarah made several TikToks from the hotels, but we couldn't hear a dog. Did the dog was the dog sleeping?
Yeah, the dog literally, she was older, so she slept a lot. Um, like there was nothing like that dog aside from Oakley, my dog. That dog was ridiculously crazy, like silent. There was like never even yelped, never whined. That dog was the best dog I've ever seen in my life, and that's just like me being brutally honest. I've never seen anything like it. The dog didn't whine, didn't like make a peep, doesn't even bark uh, at all. Even when she had to use the bathroom, I mean, she would, we knew she had to use the bathroom because she would stand up, but she never even whined to go outside or anything.
Speaking of Oakley, who
That's
has
weird.
Oakley now?
Oakley was Sarah. When I went to jail, when Sarah got out on pretrial, Sarah gave Oakley to a guy named Victor, who was also a guy that we had taken to um, Portland, Oregon, at one point in time back in 2020, I believe. Uh, he had posted an ad on Craigslist looking for a ride to. Um,
It's interesting you point that out. Brutally honest. Because he's not being brutally honest, I would think. Yeah.
Portland to go start a fresh life. So we responded to it. As you
Why are they okay? So this is the person asking them to come pick him up so he can go to Portland to start a fresh life. Why? I don't know. They don't. Okay, this is
guys
weird.
probably are aware, we did a lot of Craigslist gigs. So then you're probably gonna know a lot about that's where most of these come from is Craigslist. Um, so we took Victor to Portland, and then he ended up we stayed in contact with him throughout the next couple of years, and then he came back to Idaho and did some taxi rides for us. Um, and then when I got arrested and Sarah got released on pretrial, um, sorry, Sarah gave Victor Oakley. Well, Victor, being irresponsible, gave or got drunk one night, and Victor was living out of his vehicle with Oakley, working at Walmart, working graveyard shift, and Victor had drank like 240s. I don't know what they were. I don't really care. Drank two beers that night, the 40-ounce beers. I think they were Steel Reserve or some shit, and then got pretty much drunk. Had let Oakley out to use the bathroom in the Walmart parking lot area, and then passed out drunk. Oakley was then picked up um, by a random couple, I guess, or people, and was brought to the local humane society as a stray. Victor inquired, I guess, because this is what Victor told me a week or two ago, that he inquired to get Oakley back, but they were going to charge $300, and they wanted a signed form saying that Oakley was given to him by Sarah or I. Oh my god!
So the
So
dog is gone.
that's where the situation with Oakley.
Okay, what do you think about Brandon's interview with JLR?
Oh, as far as the question goes.
Yeah, when he was in the hot tub.
Sorry, my PO texted me.
Like that's Alex.
He's very off on his information. Like there's always two sides to every story. Unfortunately, this story, there's multiple, uh, you know, everybody has their own, uh, story. I know for a fact that what I'm telling you is the absolute 100% truth. I don't have a reason to bullshit anybody. I don't have a reason to lie to anybody. I'm on here specifically to clear my name with you guys because I know there's a lot of questions.
Well, and we're getting through them. I mean, one thing
Yeah.
I didn't know what to expect when I talked to you because,
I'm going to see if I can find this interview with Brandon since it came before this and see if we can jump over there real quick. Yeah, this is a crazy story. It is. Steel reserve equals high quality. I can handle the coughing, but for the love of God, please stop fingering your nose. Spray. Oh, yeah, there are. I was thinking the same thing when he said that. There are always three sides: your side, the other person's side, and the actual truth. I'm going to play this while I attempt to locate the interview in the hot tub, evidently, with JLR and see if we can jump over there real quick and get that information.
Brandon kept saying, you have such a slow IQ, and that, I mean, you're basically, you can't even form a sentence, really.
He's retarded. I'm sorry. Excuse my language. Don't be trying to offend anybody.
Because, I mean, you have a great memory.
I do my best. Yes, I struggle with mental diagnoses. I was born with them, but I've also been in group homes a lot of my life to better myself, to be a better part and functional member in society. So I've overcome a lot of those.
So it appears that it says neighbor interview. Oh, okay. The exclusive interview with Brandon Shirtlift is an hour long. Changed appearance. So that's what he looks like. And then there's Adrian. He interviewed his father, mother of Brandon. Okay, so we're going to go to this from 2 years ago.
Jonathan Lee Riches investigates. I am covering the Michael Vaughan case out of Fruitland, Idaho. 6-year-old Michael Vaughan. He's been missing.
Okay. Oh, okay. There we go.
Word. You need to watch
Let me
this.
drop
He
his link in
shares
chat.
vital information
All right, thank you, Abraham.
about the Michael Vaughan case. Check it out.
Okay, now thank you for talking to me. Thank you. I respect that, considering that I put a video out on you sharing what's going on. But as you know, I never said you were suspect. I just said that you were there in the mix. So this is very important because a lot of people are following the Michael Vaughan case and people just want answers.
Okay, so keep in mind that JLR is interviewing this person right now. This is Brandon, the guy that was going to give Sarah a baby, and they were sleeping together multiple times a day. Brandon, in the probable cause affidavit, Sarah Satina did not allow Brandon. Okay, Brandon is the one. They went to go pick up his car from Kuna, and allegedly he put the duffel bag containing Michael Vaughan in his mother's house, and they go back the next day and pick it up.
People want
Okay.
Michael found.
That's
They
who
want
this is.
insight on the Wondras. They want to know everything. So, can you just explain what's going on here?
What's that?
Can you explain what's going on? Like what happened? What went down? What's up?
Yeah, the people that I used to stay with sometimes on the weekend and drive taxi for or whatever, they're involved in some big shit about. They're saying they know more about the Michael Vaughan case and everything like that. And I heard that they're saying that they actually killed him themselves.
Now, who said that?
He's looking directly at the camera. It's a stark difference than Stacey. Really? ERFLA? I don't know much about him, but I'm hoping that he doesn't mind if I use this interview.
I think the detectives told me that that's what Stacey and Sarah said themselves, is that they did it or they were involved in it or they know who did.
Interesting. Do you know any names or other these people? Who are they?
One of the people that went to their house before was Tanner Butler.
Anders.
I just looked at my Facebook page now, and his name's Tanner Butler. He was staying there with me and Stacey and Sarah at the time. Like all four of us were roommates.
Yeah. So, yeah, go ahead.
And then I guess the whole thing on how this started was the fact that Sarah like kind of threatened him or like told him, get out of my house and don't come here no more because you were drinking and I don't want you to be a bad influence on my poor little husband Stacey, blah blah blah.
So yeah, and that was the incident earlier this year, April, around the beginning of April, right? They got arrested.
Correct.
Who got arrested?
Okay, so I'm thinking that this is in reference to Sarah with the pistol whipping. She's telling somebody to get out of the house because she doesn't want you to be an influence on her poor little husband. Okay. It's very in interviews and cases. Tries to implicate people. Interesting. Thank you for the information. Yeah, wear a shirt, please. Put the Coors Light down. Oh, I did hear about that. He was live streaming and then they made it to where like there can be no we basically can't see the Barry Morphew trial now. I've heard about that. I don't know who else has an interview with Brandon. If you guys know, let me know. But I mean, I don't have anything personally against him. I think that it's fucked up that he messed up the Barry Morphew trial for everybody. But like, I don't have any personal issues with him. And I don't know anybody else that has the interview with Brandon from the house. And they referenced it in the other interview. So now I was curious as to what he said. She is super violent. It seems like that. Yeah, I've heard.
Arrested.
Sarah did. Stacey Wondra. And then Stacey. Okay, so Stacey got arrested first.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, Sarah got arrested not long after.
Interesting.
And that was all over guns. It was all over a .17 caliber, some kind of a little gun they had.
Yeah, I saw the reports and I saw that I read the indictment of Stacey and he was trying to sell a gun. I think it's the gun you just described to a gun shop out in New Plymouth.
Yeah, yes, sir.
So, but you're saying Sarah got in a fight with this Tanner guy around the same time in her house.
Right after he went to give that gun to somebody else, then that is when he went and tried to sell the gun to that gunsmith guy. And then right after that, Sarah was arrested for threatening that other roommate kid with a Glock or a gun or some shit that they weren't even supposed to have.
So it was all over Tanner drinking in the house.
Yes.
It's interesting that you say that because I've observed posts from Sarah, that she would make in her taxi group. She had a group called Faith Taxi, right? And she would make posts saying, I am not going to pick up anyone and deliver them to buy drugs or alcohol. I forbid that. I don't do drugs and alcohol. I don't want to be around drugs and alcohol. Something in that sense.
Yes, sir.
So, maybe, she's just didn't want alcohol in the house. How long was
This is very weird. We're not getting anywhere yet. It wasn't good for the victim's family. Horrible clickbait. I'm sorry to hear that, ER, Florida. With bits of information is how we put the pieces together, right? And that's what. Yeah, he's evidently in a hot tub, a blow up hot tub. It's odd to me that he chose to do this interview shirtless, drinking a Coors in a blow up hot tub. But okay.
Tanner staying there for?
he was staying there for like, I'd say we had a relationship for like 2 or 3 months off and on, where he'd just kind of come in, and then they gave him a taxi ride one day, and then they said that he could come kind of stay with them at nighttime a little bit so he could get a job in the day. And they're just trying to help him, give him a place to stay at night so he could work in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, get back on his feet, and then he's going to go back to his parents or whatever.
Interesting. So how long were you there at the house for?
I probably knew him for 2 years in total, and I probably stayed with them off and on for a year because I went out and drove taxis at their little faith taxi business.
Yeah.
So I'd take people to Walmart and give them groceries and help them out in the community and stuff like that. And then I'd go back and kind of hang out with them at nighttime, and we'd do a little barbecuing, drink a couple beers, whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that,
Did he just scratch his head with that can of beer? What the fuck? He just in. If I say I'm being honest, I'm lying, said King's Nana. He's pulling hard in making that baby. Like, I can't believe that. 2 and 3 times a day to make a baby with Sarah. Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, he's not the brightest crown in the box either.
that was pretty much it.
Did how much did they pay you doing the taxi? What were they paying?
Shirtless, yeah.
Usually they charge like $2.25 or 50 cents a mile. So basically, they'll go out and let people go where they want to go, and they just cover the fuel and give them like a little tip or whatever to help them with groceries.
Okay. Did they have other people working for them besides you?
Yeah, they had one other guy that was working there, and then me and Stacey and Sarah. So there's like 4 total.
What was the other person's name? Do you know?
The other guy was I want to say it was another Hispanic guy that was my friend.
How much you want to bet that there was no like record keeping, no tax documentation, none of that going on? I'm willing to bet quite a bit of money on it.
They met during that time.
Yeah.
And we kind of hung out, and he had an SUV, and we drove around a little bit and talked, and he kind of stayed there like 1 or 2 nights. And then after that, he just kind of headed out.
You don't know his name?
I want to say it was like, it wasn't Jesus. It was like,
Hell no, he saw what was actually going on there and said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yeah. When they said we did a lot of Craigslist, the first thing that came to my mind was the type of Craigslist that used to happen back in the day, like Backpage Craigslist. I was like, did a lot of Craigslist, did you? Interesting. Okay.
it was kind of like Caesar or Jesus, kind of like one of those names, but it started with a J.
But it wasn't Caesar, the guy that was in the car with you in that picture, right? Not him.
Right, because that was when that picture was taken. I only met him like 1 or 2 other times before that. Stacey took me over to his house, and we picked him up for a taxi ride, and we took him to like, I don't know, just one of his friends, and then came right back. And then we were all just chilling.
Yeah. So you're saying that this Tanner guy did he must have done this to Michael. Tanner had to do something. You're hearing or you know?
No, I don't think Tanner did anything like that. I just know that Tanner and Sarah got in a fight, and that's why she got charges in the first place, because she didn't handle the situation properly.
Okay, so going back to the couple weeks ago when authorities went to the Wonders house with a warrant for the property to dig up looking for Michael, what brought them there? Like, who said what? Who said what to bring them there? Did the detectives tell you?
I think that they said that the cadaver dogs, they brought dogs over there and it alerted, like on a scent trail or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there was rumors that there was a little tricycle bike over there and a little shirt or something like that.
Okay, so we're hearing rumors about the tricycle and the cadaver dogs on November 25th of 2022. This is going to be about a year and 6 months approximately after Michael Monkey Vaughan has gone missing. that this interview takes place, and that's right when they went to go search the backyard to see if there was a body back there. That employer guy said that they would start a business and get one load of laundry or one taxi ride, never made money, didn't even know how to change oil, yet they had a lube business. Lord Jesus, you have 26 sides to your story. It's insane. Yeah, Caesar does not start with a J. Remember, Sarah had hydrocodone. They were also allegedly into substances. Yep. So this is about a year and a half, approximately, after Michael has gone missing, and they're referencing the tricycle and the cadaver dogs, which is in the probable cause affidavit. The coughing gets worse to include spitting. Yuck. Yeah, they were lubing something. Mm-mm.
But why would people spread rumors? Are you thinking they were just trying to pin it on them?
Possibly. Yeah, I think that they were. I don't know.
Yeah, because it is interesting, and I'm so dumbfounded on this because we all want answers. Everybody wants answers, right? Everyone wants the truth. Right. And I appreciate you telling me because, believe it or not, me digging in on you, I'm thinking, okay, this Brandon guy is involved because Sarah got arrested. But at the same
So, yeah, in the probable cause affidavit, it states that they were going to pick his vehicle up from his mother's house in Kuna. His mother did not allow anybody to be there when she was gone, so he goes in and goes over the back fence, so he's not seen on the Ring doorbell camera, and Michael Monkey Vaughan is in the back because this guy and Stacey helped each other duct tape Michael Monkey Vaughan and put him in the duffel bag. And so this guy leaves the duffel bag at his mother's house, and they go and pick it up the next day from his mother's house. And then it doesn't say what happened after that. So he's allegedly involved. He's in the probable cause affidavit.
Same time, people are like, well, Sarah's like kind of crazy, right? She's kind of mentally ill, and she could just been rambling, hey, I buried the body, when it's not true.
Yeah, and even if there was any bit of a slight suspicion or whatever that happened, I'm glad that they went there and looked because that would be a way to find more clues to what is going on.
Yeah, because you told me you don't think Sarah or Stacey did this.
I don't think that they're capable of doing it because they're just kind of like normal people that just have little businesses trying to get money, just barely scraping to get by. They don't.
And remember, Sarah called Brandon and said, do you want to come by the house so that you and me and Stacey can get our story straight? She wanted Brandon to write a letter for them saying they had nothing to do with it. The allegation is that Sarah came in with him, and I think it might have actually been Brandon. It's Brandon or Adrian say in Stacey's probable cause affidavit, they can get $10,000 a piece for the child. But Sarah's doesn't say anything. It just says that she brought the baby Michael in and then he suffocated. It talks about them being buried. It talks about their phones. Okay, I have to find it, but yes, one of them, I don't know if it was this guy or the Adrian guy, said something about $10,000 for child trafficking, which I think it's the Adrian guy because he was allegedly involved in human trafficking.
And then okay, like what other business they got? They got the taxi business. What else?
And then they have an oil change business. So they started Wondra's Lube, and that's what came up on the Google when you Googled it.
Yeah.
And then that is why I was there at all ever for any reason is to help them with their oil change business.
Oh, right.
I did that before and I'm good at it.
Where would they do the oil change at? At their house there or another location?
They had a little shop over there in Ontario, Oregon, where they did oil changes. They were renting it out.
So up to the arrest where she got arrested in April this year, was that business still running?
It was starting to slowly decrease because it was going good, and then one day Stacey had an argument with the owner and his daughter over a shop vac, if you can believe it or not. And they were sitting there just doing that, and he said, if you're going to treat my daughter and talk to her like that over just a shop vac, then I'm going to go ahead and not rent this to you guys anymore. You know what I mean? And you haven't paid me for a little bit anyway, so things are not up to date on the payments. You guys, your contract has been terminated.
Interesting. Yeah.
So Stacey's evidently an asshole. In the probable cause affidavit right here, additionally, Stacey stated that the idea to take the child to sell for money was Adrian's and they would get a $10,000 cut. Stacey was asked if Sarah provided any direction throughout any part of this. Sarah said that Stacey asked Brandon to, quote, follow her lead, which was to, quote, take the kid, unquote. Stacey recalled that most of the conversation at that point was Sarah trying to figure out what they were going to do. Sarah had asked Brandon, where should we put the body? And Brandon was like, quote, well, you guys can take him over to my mom's house. We'll deal with it. And that will buy us some time. And again, Brandon is this guy right here, who seems to be a better liar than Stacey, in my opinion. Queen of Hearts said, I don't believe he suffocated. They finally caught a kid. I'm sure they had a list of things. Yeah. Unfortunately. God rest his little soul. Lord have mercy.
So what about the taxi business? Was that still functioning up to when she got arrested?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Yeah, I was still functioning, and
Me
it'd
too.
still be going today if none of those charges would have happened with her and Tanner. That's what set it off.
So she gets charged with arrested for fighting with Tanner. Does she get bond?
Yeah.
Does she just get released?
I think they gave her bond. They gave her bond for a little bit, and then they let her out on a preliminary hearing kind of a thing.
Mhm.
So they're waiting to determine if any more evidence comes up, if she really did like try to smack him with a dog bone, or if she tried to threaten him with a gun, or if that was true, or if it was just hearsay.
So he's accusing her of hitting her with a dog bone.
Yeah, he said
What
that
the
she
hell?
smacked her with a dog bone and said, "Get out of my house right now, or I'm calling the cops." And that's what started everything. And then right when that happened, me and her got in an argument as well, and I got my little van and I left and went home.
So you never
'Cause I
went,
was like,
you never went back after that.
right after that, I went back one time, and then I went back there and was hanging out with another friend. His name was Randy, and he was from North Carolina, and he got in a crash with his motorhome. So they were trying to help him with that, with the taxi, by giving him a ride to do the repairs on his pickup. They got totaled from the crash, and then from there.
So what I just noticed, first of all, don't bring North Carolina into this. Second of all, you said that, right, I never went back. I went back the one time, and now you're explaining this. So he's lying too, in my opinion. You don't think he's lying. You think he's making a lot of assumptions. It's possible. Yep. That's where I'm at with it. Kalisa said, in my opinion, law enforcement needs to be very careful interviewing so they aren't pushing people to say what they want because we need the actual truth. I agree with that. These people I used to stay with every once in a while. Yep. I know. Where's the water? I always have to think real hard to remember my friends' names.
There, that's when that kind of went sideways. And I went back there once, and me and him were trying to do the taxi by ourselves, but then Stacey got involved and got in with a new phone and tried to run the show in the company. And then me and Stacey got in arguments about who could drive the car, who couldn't, who could work, who couldn't. And it just became a big nightmare from there.
Interesting. Did they bring in like, it seems like they're just bringing people in because they want to help them.
He does,
Yes.
Abraham.
Why are they doing that?
I don't know. That was one of the biggest questions that was on my mind too. It's just like they were trying to, they said that they kind of did it for God, or they did it for the church, and they want to give people a place to sleep at night so they don't have to be homeless, you know?
What?
Oh, there's the water.
Yeah. Was Stacey religious?
He pretended to be, but he wasn't as, like, he believes in God, you know what I'm saying? But he doesn't believe in like all the religious practices like most of people.
Yeah.
But they went to church, and they paid tithes and tried to help people and got money from the church to pay their bills, and they were with the church, you know.
Interesting. Well, see, because people are saying about Sarah,
That is
right?
interesting.
Because they're saying right after Michael Vaughan went missing, then she starts making all these religious posts, like within a month after he went missing, and people are.
So that is in the probable cause affidavit. And again, this was from quite a while back, way before the probable cause affidavit.
suspecting? Does she trying to repent? Does she have a guilty conscience? Is she trying to deflect and try to thwart off anyone that's investigating her to act like she's religious? Like, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, I know that they always kind of like hid behind it, or they went with those kind of things. Like the whole time I was there, they just say, "Oh, we believe in God, and God tells me what we should do for the day and how to help people, and we believe in doing good to the community, and it'll come back around," kind of like a good karma thing.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, they were kind of like good charity people. So I don't know why they would go from that to getting caught with guns and then trying to run off with the story that definitely didn't happen in front of my eyes, or else I would have reported it too, you know?
Yeah.
That's a problem. I do have a problem here how he's just talking about like this story that definitely didn't happen in front of his eyes, or he'd have reported it too, because he doesn't break eye contact with the camera the whole entire time. I'm gonna back it up a little bit so he can say that again. What his eyes, it's hard to see because of his glasses, but it never breaks contact with the camera. So if he's lying, he's good at it.
To getting caught with guns and then trying to run off with the story that definitely didn't happen in front of my eyes, or else I would have reported it too, you know?
He does blink after he makes that statement. But of course, the story he's talking about that didn't happen in front of his eyes. I'm assuming it's what's on the probable cause affidavit, that they took Michael and then took him to Brandon's mom's house. Now, again, to be fair, he did just blink. He is itching his nose or messing with his nose too. So
Yeah. So
that's why it's questioning to me.
And that's why I'm asking you questions, because maybe
well,
you have the clues of the
he'll
idea,
tell sides
but
of
you're
life
saying that
is
they
there.
couldn't have done it. Now, let's go back to that day Michael went missing, right? So
Yeah.
that morning, where were you all at on July 27th, 2021, the day Michael was reported missing? Where were you guys at in the morning?
Okay, so earlier that day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house, and we came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughan, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup, and then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, you know, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk.
So I don't know what to make of it, because he's not breaking eye contact, but he is messing with his nose, closing his eyes, looking to the side. He's redescribing the day, and he's already looked to the side a couple of times. Abraham said that's why I don't think he's lying. He's just recounting how he perceived things and telling what he heard from others. Kane Zenna said Brandon is a liar.
And then did this and that and came back. And then
Did wait a minute. Did this and that and came back. What is this and that? Okay.
down by the river, or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, you know, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back, Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, hey, we need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out, you know? So that's what was on my mind right when it happened. But earlier, before that day, before we towed the car, we went to Applebee's. And
I've never heard this story. So he talked about they slept, they got up, they went somewhere, and then they came back, found out Michael was gone, and then this person named Carson with the light bar was there. They went to search for Michael, but now he's gone back to earlier in the day, and they're talking about Applebee's. This is completely different. I do not know who made that phone call. Mariel, do you? He was seen on video several times per the probable cause affidavit. Yes, he was walking behind the splash pad through the woods. Yes, he was. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yes, he was. And their cars are junk, needs power steer fluid every hour. Yeah. Remember, he's in the hot tub. The mist steam may be wetting his face and nose. You're right about that, and I didn't think about it.
And there
What
was a
time was
guy
that?
that was earlier in the day after we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee, and then we went, me and Sarah
Well, that was exactly what Stacey said. They woke up, they watched TV, they had coffee. So that part matches.
and one of her other friends that was there visiting for like a week or so because he came in from the airport. He wanted to go visit his family over by Nampa area somewhere by the Karcher Mall.
Who was that?
So that's Adrian.
Is that the Adrian Hernandez?
No, that's a different guy. Adrian Hernandez, I was locked up and incarcerated with him at the Canyon County Jail earlier this year. And he was just there for like some kind of a quarrel or marijuana or just some little petty charge. And he's just there for that. But this Adrian that I'm talking about was a different person.
Who? Like, what's his last name?
I don't know his last name at all.
Yeah.
I just know that he was Adrian and he had like kind of an afro. And we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene.
Mm-hmm.
And we were hanging out with him doing that previously
It
earlier.
was Brendan's duffel
And
bag.
then after that, me, Adrian, and Sarah went to Applebee's where we dropped him off there after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the whatever Popeyes restaurant.
Who bought the Applebee's? You or him? Or who paid?
Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was gonna buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her. But he said my family's here. I want to see him, so I'm gonna go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them or lunch with them real quick, and then give me a little bit of time to do that, and then you guys come back and get me.
Yeah.
So we did that, and in the meantime, me and Sarah were bored, just kind of driving around the mall, and we didn't know what to do. So I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water.
Yeah.
And then during that time, after that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrian, me and Sarah, and then all three of us, Sarah, Adrian, and I, we hopped in the car and we went back to the Fruitland house where they do their taxi business.
All right. So where was Stacey?
Yeah, where was Stacey during this time? I've never heard this story. This is a new one. Like, wow, that's a lie. Adrian was there that night. He's following his script, said Queen of Hearts. Not all the cues and clues we know as lying are the same for everyone. Your setting can also influence your behavior, such as talking directly into a cam, knowing that tones are watching. Right.
During all of this?
He was back at the house.
So Stacey said, you think Stacey stayed home all that day? Stayed home?
We left him there at the house. I don't know if he stayed there the whole time or not, to be honest.
Was anyone else there with him?
I don't think so. I think it was just him home alone. And that was before we went to tow.
And they had dogs and cats there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, they had one hound dog and like 3 or 4 tuxedo cats.
So Stacey's there. You guys go out. What was Adrian doing at the mall?
He was just visiting his girlfriend and his son. And then after that, we went over to Macy's and kind of went in there and shopped around for clothes a little bit. And we were playing on our iPads and just taking pictures, goofing off. And then from there, we go back and then that's how it goes.
Well, what about the afternoon from the mall to you going back to the neighborhood? Did you guys go anywhere else? Stop anywhere else?
We just went over to a pawn shop, I think, just kind of look around at the pawn shop a little bit. And
I think he's recalling a different day and filling it in for the day that Michael went missing. Adrian said it per Stacey. Yeah, that's what I was thinking when he said that. Obviously, they all shop at Macy's, don't you know?
And I think he bought like an iPad, or he was trying to get a new iPad, I think.
That's Adrian, right?
Right, yes, sir. And then I think he bought one there. We went to the pawn shop, bought an iPad, and then came back and we were just chilling.
So what car were you guys all in?
We were in that little Toyota 2016 Toyota Corolla.
Okay. What is that? What color is it? White?
It's the blue one.
A blue. Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember you were telling me that they were towing your car. You told me earlier in another conversation that your car was being towed by their truck that day.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So where's that come into play here?
So I asked them earlier that day if we could use their pickup to go to my house, my mom's house, and get my Mercedes Benz and tow it back over there so I could work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business.
So notice he left all that out and made it sound like as soon as they got done fucking around at the mall and eating, they came back and then they helped look for Michael Monkey Vaughan. But in a previous conversation, he had talked about the car being towed. And now that he's been reminded of what he said previously, now they're going to talk about the car being towed. I'm interested to see where he's going to fit it in. I didn't know that. Thank you for that, Lorianne. Southern Cat said, nope, he's lying.
Yeah. So when did you guys go over there to get your car?
I think it was around like
Yeah.
6 or 7
Abraham.
at night.
6 or 7. Then you're saying while you're coming back, that's when you noticed everyone searching for Michael?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I remember going to the gas station. We were probably at the gas station filling up like right at 7.
Right at 7. What gas station?
There's the Chevron right there just up from their house.
Yeah. So where you were seeing people out there looking for Michael, or you were seeing police?
I was just seeing police cars cruising around, and I was seeing a lot of like the neighbors going out in their cars cruising around, and just like the whole subdivision from the left side to the right side. They were all just out, everybody walking around and looking, and flashlights. Search and rescue was there, police, everything.
But how did you know they were looking for Michael?
Because so when we were pulling into the subdivision, Sarah was driving the pickup, and she stopped and talked to the neighbor that was coming down the road the opposite way.
Mm-hmm.
And she stopped right there in the middle of the road, and they both opened their doors and they started talking to each other right there.
Okay. And you told me you never seen Michael Vaughan before in your life prior.
Right. I never met him or his parents ever before. I just know that they're neighbors of where I was staying over there with the Wondras. They live like diagonal.
Yeah. What about the okay. Yeah, I got so many questions. All right. So
in the probable cause affidavit, it's alleged that they used his duffel bag. They put Michael at his mother's house, and then they go back and get him. When they go to pick up the Mercedes to tow back to the house is when they put Michael, who is in the duffel bag, allegedly deceased, in his mother's residence. And then the next day they go back because Brandon suggested it to buy them some time. I don't know if he's arrested yet or not, but and I don't know where Adrian is either. They went to church asking for money. Wow.
Adrian, where's he from?
I think he's from California somewhere.
So, but how did he?
What I know for sure is that Stacey and Sarah have been arrested, but Adrian, Brandon, Stacey, and Sarah are all accused of having been involved.
Get up there? Like, how did he end up there in Idaho?
He just flew in from California to come see his son and his old girlfriend or whatever.
But where did Sarah meet him? Like, how does she know him?
I don't know. I think he just randomly like called their phone one day from the airport and said, can you give me a ride from here to there or whatever? And that's probably how those two met.
Yeah, because, obviously, Sarah, according to this arrest affidavit, she's claiming that this Adrian guy helped bury Michael in her yard. That's what she said, according to the arrest affidavits, or the neighbors. She also said the neighbor's yard, too.
Right.
So
yeah,
people are wondering, who's Adrian?
Yeah, he's just some kid that came here from California for a little bit to visit his son and his old girlfriend.
Did he get arrested at all?
No, he didn't get arrested or talked to or nothing.
So how long was he there at their house for?
He was only there for like a week up to 2 weeks tops.
After Michael
I'm not
went
sure.
missing.
They might not.
After Michael went missing, I'm pretty sure he was there for like a couple days after that as well.
Okay, so he was there about a week and a half prior to Michael being
Uber.
missing. Then Michael went missing, and then a couple days later, he goes back to California.
I think so, yeah.
Do you know where in California?
I have no idea.
You're in a hot tub. I see you're in a hot tub. What's that, the North Dakota life?
Yeah, that's North Dakota life, trying to stay warm out here right now.
Yeah. Interesting. So interesting. Now, did you know that like Stacey had like crazy criminal record in the past of being in the feds and locked up and all that kind of stuff? Did you know that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, he talked to me previously before that, and he said that he got locked up for like a year or two because he lied on a federal application to buy a gun or something at a store.
So you seen him with guns. Like, why would he still have guns if he already got arrested for it? Did he just not care? Or
I think that was it or something. Because at first he said, hey, I know that you're not a felon and you can have guns. Do you want me to try to find you a gun? And I said, no, I already have a gun. I don't need to get another one, you know. But if you are selling that other little 17 or whatever, I'll buy it if I get money from you guys paying me from doing taxiing, you know. That
Adrian
was
was there
our
from
previous
March to July.
conversation.
yeah. So yeah, I wonder why he was so interested in you getting a gun. You know, like why does he want others to get a gun? Is he like fascinated with guns?
Yeah, I think he comes from a background where like him and his grandpa
Maybe.
used to hunt back in the day before he got in trouble. Like when he went out with other people that were responsible, he probably did some hunting.
So some people are saying that does Sarah have any kids that you knew of or had kids?
No, sir.
See, some people speculated that Michael, if Sarah is involved and she got arrested, but people are speculating, hey, maybe Sarah did it because she wanted a kid on her own because she couldn't have kids, or you know, what do you think?
Right.
Hold on just a second here. I'm in an interview right now, so I'm gonna have to do this real quick. I think that she couldn't have kids because her husband Stacey said that he got his nuts crushed in a bull riding rodeo accident or whatever, blah blah blah. He said he used to bull ride and a bull stepped on his thing and crushed it, so he couldn't have him.
So he couldn't give her a child then.
Right, and he wanted a kid and she really didn't.
Oh, she didn't want a child.
So that's different from what we just heard. He wanted a kid and she didn't.
No, she didn't really want to have a kid, but he was trying to push that on her.
So is it possible? Okay, so you're with Sarah and you're with Adrian out or getting your car and bringing it back. Is it possible Stacey was home left alone and did something and maybe like went out and snatched Michael? I mean, how do you do you guys know about Stacey's whereabouts at the time?
I personally don't. So I'm saying that could be a possibility.
Because there was no one else there with him, correct?
Right. Yeah. Yes, sir.
But you're saying that you were with Sarah all that day. You and Adrian and Sarah were all together throughout that whole day, starting in the morning. And you didn't she didn't go off on her own or do anything?
No, I was with Sarah that whole day and Adrian. And then Stacey was left home alone.
Stacey was left.
So again, that's really different than the probable cause affidavit. Queen of Hearts said except opposite, according to Sarah's first husband and Stacey. Yep, bull stepped on him. Damn.
Home alone. What there when you guys were out? What cars were there with Stacey?
I think he had his little Cadillac Escalade that he cruised around at that time.
What color was that?
It was a white one, an older one that he traded his pickup in for. That when that pickup started to have a couple issues, instead of getting it fixed, he just traded it in.
Yeah. See, because he's left alone and no one else is there with him. I wonder if he ventured out. Yeah. Okay. For instance, when you guys got back, was he in the house?
Yeah, he was in there. He was in there on the couch. I'm pretty sure.
What was he doing?
Just watching TV.
Like he never even went anywhere.
Right.
Yeah. Because, he's left alone. It seems like you three have it, you guys are each other's alibis, I guess, and you're saying you did whatever throughout the day. And I appreciate you talking to me. I mean, You know, like somebody that would be guilty wouldn't be telling all this in a sense, you know, but people just want answers.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
want answers too. I
I
don't think
agree.
Adrian did it, and I don't think Sarah did it. But Stacey, I know that sometimes he's lied to me and he's lied to others, and he says he'll do something and then he really don't do it. And I got after him about that, and I was trying to teach him that you're not supposed to do that in life, and then he'll get sometimes mad at me, So that's where my trail kind of ends, and that's where I'm kind of curious in my own head.
With
And
Stacey.
with Stacey, I'd like to talk to him personally, and if he was here right now, I'd be talking with him and say, hey, I know you and me didn't. I know that you broke my watch, and you thought I wanted to steal your girl or this or that, but that was all accusations. It's not true. I was just there to help you guys work, make a business, and pay the bills. That was my whole objective.
So he was accusing you of trying to get with Sarah
Yes, sir. Like every day.
every day, but he didn't kick you out of the house.
Right, because she liked me a little bit because I was kind of the cool guy on the block, hanging out, trying to save the day, and he got a little bit.
Oh, he's the cool guy on the block, y'all. Trying to hang out and trying to save the motherfucking day. Nope. Where is my? Yeah, here we go.
This is some dysfunctional shit.
It really is. Like, I really feel like that right now. You know, Kane's Nana said, nope. Stacey said they talked to a cop when they came back. The cop told them there was a missing boy. Allegations, sir. The word is allegations.
Jealous of it, and I wanted to kind of shut that down and say, hey, we're all friends. You keep your wife, you guys get along, and you guys stop doing that, kind of like a counselor or a mediator.
Was he ever did you ever see him do any violence?
No. He pretended to try to be a tough guy, try to do that kind of stuff, but he
doing violence. We doing violence.
He never did it when I was around.
He's a pretty big dude.
What did you just dig in your butt? Sir.
He's a heavy feller. He's like 450, 500 pounds.
So, I mean, if you see him walk, does he get tired when he walks a short distance?
Yeah, that's true.
So it's interesting. So because he's left alone, you guys are out. Michael Vaughan goes missing around, we'll say 7 p.m. And, what happened? Where was Starkey? Where was Carson Starkey?
I think he was driving for another company at that time because he was mad at Sarah and Stacey because they were kind of trying to give him a little bit of bluff or a little bit of grief. And he was like, you know what? I can go work somewhere else or be part of somebody else. I don't have to sit here and take your guys' nonsense.
So, interesting. What about the Cesar Garudo? What's the deal with him? Is he involved? Could he be involved? Was he around their house?
I know that he went to their house like one time. Other than that, me and Stacey went to his house one time, and he had a couple other friends over there, and they were just kind of hanging out and chilling with a couple other people.
But Cesar was not around the house the time Michael went missing.
As best as I know, yeah, that's true.
Interesting. So you never seen Michael. Have you ever hear Sarah or Stacey talk about the Vaughns or mention the Vaughns or say anything?
Never once. Not even. The only time I heard them ever mention the Vaughns is when they stopped.
See, that's like the 15th time he's done that. No, never once. The only time I've heard them mention the Vaughns. Well, sir, that doesn't mean that they've never not once mentioned the Vaughns. First you say, no, never, not even once, reiterating it with red flashing lights. And then you follow that with the only time they ever mentioned him. Like, stop. What the fuck? They're all so full of shit.
Car that day, and they said, hey, there's somebody that's missing in the neighborhood. His name's Michael Vaughan. Do you guys know him or know where he went? That was the first time that came up to my attention. And then as far as I know, they both said, no, we don't know where he's at. Let's go help look for him from that point.
Interesting. Yeah. Man, I'm so scatterbrained here because it's just a mystery. It's a mystery.
It is. That's all it is right now at this point. Yeah.
But you're assuring, like, if
because that's what he wants you to believe, JLR. That's his bath for the week, so I hope he did just dig in his butt. Oh, yeah, something. Don't nobody want to see that dude.
If the Vaughns were watching right now, what would you say to Michael Vaughn's family?
I would say, don't lose hope. Keep your head up, keep your chin up, and know that he might still be out there somewhere, because they never brought him into their house when I was there, not once. No little kids ever even came into that house, and I was there like a good majority of the time running a taxi business. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And the
So he does always wipe his mouth.
people that I knew that was there, they seemed like they were all right, decent people that weren't trying to do that. They were just trying to have normal everyday lives, you know?
Okay, I'm gonna pause it right there because I am gonna have to go for the day. I'm already running about 11 minutes behind when I'm supposed to stop. I've been told I gotta make my lives a little shorter, but I mean, I haven't done that yet. I'm planning on after we move making them a little bit like trying to go an hour or two at the most. Kane's Nana said he traded his truck in. Did he drive the truck to tow Brandon's car? Per the probable cause affidavit, yes. That was the truck that they drove to get Brandon's car. And that truck, the red GMC, they came to repo it. Sarah said, we're going to be the best repo they've had all week or something like that. The truck was thoroughly cleaned. And Stacey called the car lot back after they repossessed the vehicle, asking if he could borrow the vehicle and then telling them to hurry up and sell it. So I don't know. All in tanks, good to see you, love. You like the longer live streams? I'm going to continue to do it until after the beginning of December when we move. I'm leaving both of these exactly where they are. Like, I'm just going to leave them up on my computer tonight so we can get back right where we were, because I figured this was going to be a couple of part series, because I have the probable cause affidavit. I've read it extensively, but looking at this guy's interview, I don't know, man. I mean, at points, he seems like he could be telling the truth, but then at other points, it's like, well, I don't think he is because of the probable cause affidavit. I don't know what to think. Digging in the dirt. Stay with me. I need support. Y'all are funny. All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for hanging out with me as we review this case and try to figure out something. I don't know what we're going to figure out, but we're going to get a better idea of what's been going on all this time, coming from somebody who has not been there, who has not seen all the live streams, who does not know a lot about this case. As somebody new coming into it, I think we'll learn a lot. The long live streams I look forward to hearing when I get things done this time of day, and good to see you too. Yeah, we have reviewed the probable cause affidavit a couple of live streams ago. I think it might have been yesterday actually that we went through all of that. And then the probable cause affidavit, Sarah's is on a video. Stacey's is not, or Stacey's is on the video and Sarah's isn't. One of them's on the video, and then I thought they were the same, and then I reviewed it on the live stream, and I found out they were a little bit different, but not much. They talk about the duffel bag and say it was full of clothes because Sarah had a laundry business, so he washed clothes at his mom's. Ooh, interesting. I can't wait to get to that part and see how he acts. That's going to be a telltale. Abellis, thank you so very much for gifting 10 memberships. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly appreciate it. Those memberships went to Ravenna, Denver, Queen of Hearts, Beach Bum, Raina Smart, Lady Frontier, Megan Scott, Samara S, Hurricane Holly, Miss Pisces, and then Bree. If you guys were gifted from Abellis and you are aware you were gifted, please tell Abellis thank you, and I'll grab the Polar Express to pick y'all up on the way to Speculation Station. Thank you so very much, Abellis. That was so very sweet and supportive of you, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I'm glad that Queen got one. That's awesome. Thank you, Abellis, my love. Thank you, Abellis. Yay, I'm so glad you were gifted. Making it rain, I know. That was very generous and sweet of you. All right, y'all, I will definitely be back tomorrow and we will pick right up where we left off. And I hope y'all have a good night. Stay safe out there. If nobody's told you, you are enough, you are important, you are special, and you are very loved. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye.